So on Sunday night, the eyes of the nation looked on as England lost to Italy in the final of Euro 2020. Tonight, the eyes of the nation return to their screen as GT3 returns for round 2 at Snetterton, here on iRacing UK, Twitch and YouTube channels. Just a few weeks ago at Snetterton for the round 2 of the Porsche Cup, where we saw some absolutely epic wheel-to-wheel racing. And if the past 2 seasons of GT3 have been anything to go by, they are now in for a great night of excitement and drama. I'm Tim Cox, and as always, I'm joined by James Parfitt later in the show. But for now, I'm joined by the absolutely delightful Ian Winchester. Ian, after a 3-day hiatus, please tell me that tonight is going to be well worth the wait, my friend.
Good evening, Tim, and welcome to everybody. I'm really looking forward to tonight's race from Snetterton, live on Twitch and YouTube, and as always, brought to you by iRacing, the world's premier motorsport simulation. Who are iRacing UK? We are a community enthusiastic and inclusive group of racers from across the UK who like to run social races, practice sessions, leagues, but most importantly, share experiences and our passion for sim racing. As you mentioned, Tim, tonight's race comes to you from Snetterton, an FIA Grade 2 licence track. Started life back in 1943, like so many other British tracks after the war, as a former RAF base. Built for the US Army Air Force Bomb Group and a fleet of B-17 Flying Fortresses. As always, we'll be taking your questions throughout the broadcast, so feel free to drop your messages in the chat. We'd love to hear from everyone watching, so post in the chat now who you're cheering on. Just a bit of background information. In real life, the GT3 record holder is Phil Keane with a 1:57.162 in his Lamborghini Huracan in 2020. This is to keep an eye out for drivers matching this pace. We noticed at Hockenheim that the fastest guys beat this time in iRacing, so I fully expect the same to happen here because of conditions and tyres and all that kind of stuff. So just to quickly reiterate the format we have on tonight's broadcast. Points will be awarded on your licence division. You must complete at least 75% of the race distance. First up, we'll have the short race, which is beginning soon, with the longer race after the checkered flag here, more or less immediately. Pre-qual should already have taken place for the new drivers to earn a place in the long race. The top few drivers will enter the long race and all the others into the short race beginning shortly. And this week, there are fewer drivers in the short race looking to qualify and 45 in the long race, I believe, and there'll be lots of rookie spaces available and there'll be better odds this week than there are last week. In the short race last week, the top 3 placed were Matt Edmondson, Thien van der Wittenberg and John Williams. John had a fast single lap time than the other 2 by a 10th, and the top 8 finishes were separated by a second. So a rather long-winded answer, Tim. I think we're definitely going to have some very close racing, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Edmondson snet a win here too.
Yeah, so one driver I was quite be looking forward to watching tonight in the short race is Andres Botella, currently 6th place in the championship. You can see there on 22 points in his Porsche 911, and he managed to qualify obviously for the main feature race. But yeah, he showed a lot of strong pace early on, Ian. I think he's definitely going to be one to watch out for tonight. He's currently sitting around about 7th fastest time in the warm-up. It's about a minute left of that to go. So yeah, I think he's, like you say, Matt Edmondson as well, and Thien van den. You know, obviously they're not so much with us tonight. Damien Lebet, I think definitely one guy to watch, currently setting the fastest time just now within practice. So yeah, lots of drivers to keep an eye out for, and I'm sure it's going to be a great race.
Yeah, I remember Andres Bedoya, wasn't he doing, I think he was in 1st or 2nd place or challenging first, but I can't remember exactly what happened. There was a bit of an accident, whether he spun off or there was a bit of a contretemps at one of the big turns. I don't know if you can remember what happened there, Tim.
Yeah, I think he had a bit of an incident into turn 2, I think it was. And yeah, it was so unlucky, but it just shows, you know, where our drivers are pushing so hard and driving on an absolute knife edge that mistakes can be easy to make, especially with that Porsche 911 with the engine being at the rear of the car. Makes it a bit more prone compared to other cars like the you know, Ferrari 488 you see at the moment, which is mid-engined. Likewise, the Lamborghini and the Audi, and you've got, I know your favourite, the Mercedes AMG, which has got its engine in the front. So, yeah, I think it's definitely going to be a good one.
Definitely need all that weight on the front wheels to get some steering, and we've got the grid up now. So first row, Mark Jennings and Andrew Jones. Second row, Peter Cox and David Burridge. Third row, Jacob Hyde and Andres Bedoya. Fourth row, Stuart Pearson and Damien Lobbett. Then we have Christopher Bates, Stuart Williams, John Davis and Ollie Pimley. We'll just wait for the grid to update. Here we come. There it is. We've got Christopher Bates and then John Davis, followed by Dave Stringfellow and Stuart Pearson. Is that Ollie Pimley again? Ah, the grid's really short. I see. I see what's happened there. So Stuart Williams and David. Wait a minute. There we go. So we've got Andrew Jones, Andres Bedoya, and Damien Lebet. Is that a reverse grid we've got there? Has that been reversed? That's a corrected grid, right? Apologies, everyone. And here we go. The lights are coming up. So the procession lap is just starting. The pace car is out in front. Go slowly coming round. Start, finish straight. Car 3-4 is Peter Cox, and he's got pole. Looks like the pace car is starting to leave, and everyone's just relaxing, waiting for Peter Cox to cross the finish line. He's holding his nerve. Is he going to go yet? Here we go. Off we go, and Peter Cox gets a great start with Mark Jennings losing a bit of ground to Jacob Hyde by the looks of it. Jacob Hyde might be able to squeeze in that first corner, and it looks as though he has squeezed out Mark Jennings with Rob Windsor just behind in fourth. Here we are, and Peter Cox has opened up a substantial lead already. He's only really done 2 corners, and he's nearly a second out. David Burridge has just spun out, I believe. Here we got a replay, and let's see what happens to David. He tries to sneak through, a little bit too much power, slides between 2 cars, but he might be able to get back on track without too much damage. And here we are back with the battle for first. We've got 3 cars. We've got Hyde in second, Jennings in third. Peter Cox has still got a bit of a gap there. And here we are on board with Jacob Hyde. Looks like he's caught up a little bit to Peter Cox. He's made up a bit of ground, or Peter maybe didn't accelerate properly out of the corners. He's made up a bit of ground there, and we're heading off down the Bentley straight now. There's the hard braking zone at the end of here as you turn into Nelson. Peter Cox is still, he's 8 tenths ahead now, Jacob Hyde. And here now we are with Damien Lobbett, who are following right now in the number 5 car. Coming nicely round the corner. In 9th position. He's gone up 6 places. That's an incredible start for so short around the track. He's now challenging car 200, Andres Bedoya, who looks to be maybe suffering a little bit on the cold tyres. And it looks like John Davis went a little bit wide there before coming around Murray's, before we come down the start finish straight. Peter Cox is still in the lead, but he's lost a bit of time there. Still with Andres Bedoya. He looks like he's actually making ground up, and Peter Cox has lost a lot of ground, and Jacob Hyde nearly nudged him a little bit coming into that corner. So he's going to be looking for a bit of drafting here as we come round to probably after the Angostini, before we get to Palmer. There's a nice bit of straight there for overtaking, so we're just going to wait. And round Angostini, and before we come round Hamilton, I don't think Hyde is going to be close enough, and that straight is a little bit too short. It might be a bit of a dive before we come round. And as they're now approaching that hard turn into Oggies, to be really careful around there with such powerful rear-wheel drive cars sometimes. And coming up to the Williams corner, we need a good exit out of here for the Bentley straight, and Damien Lobbett has made another place as the car in front of him has slid off. Jacob Hyde has opened up. Bedoya has spun off. Let's have a look at a bit of a replay there. And what's happened? My goodness. Yeah, he went a little bit tight, maybe power a little bit too early. Spun, but no damage, can rejoin safely. That's right, but he's lost a few places there. Jacob Hyde is, and now we're at Andrew Jones, and that was a great timing, Mr. Producer Sean, as he banged off the car. And there was obviously the car tried to maybe turn a little bit early, and Andres Bedoya is rejoined the track and is now going to be challenging Andrew Brummer. And he's right behind him now. He's great drafting to get the start finish straight. Is he going to be able to come in to Montreal? And that is a great overtake from Andres Bedoya. Superb drafting. And replay now back to Peter Cox. And Peter Cox overcooks it, just coming out. That's a real shame, and he's damaged the front corner. So is he going to be able to rejoin safely? And he's looking like he might have to visit the pits there. Now back with Andres Bedoya, who's now climbed 5 places. Hopping to Rob Windsor, has climbed 1 place, and he's now in 3rd position. He's looking to maybe get a little bit of time up on Mark Jennings and maybe challenge for a 2nd position, because Mark Jennings and Jacob Hyde are very close, and there's going to be some battling there, so they're going to lose a bit of time. So hopefully Rob Windsor will take advantage of that and try and catch up and maybe even get lucky and go for 1st. And Rob Windsor now is coming into, at the end of the Bentley straight, coming into Nelson, as he's just quite a tight right-hand corner, and he bounced. Oh, and who's just come off there? Hyde just bounced off on Nelson by the looks of it. And a quick replay here. Let's see what he did. And it's all in his own, and he just overcooked it. He couldn't brake hard enough. That's a real shame. And all of the other cars missed. Peter Cox, Jacob Hyde, as he rejoins. Jacob Hyde now running in 4th. Mark Jennings takes 1st. Rob Windsor in 2nd. Damien Lovett in 6th. He's gone up 9 places now. That is great charge from Damien. And he's looking like trying to take Ollie Pimley at the end of the start-finish straight. Not quite, doesn't quite do it, but he's close enough. So there just needs to basically hold his nerve and keep patient around Montreal and Palmer, Agostini, Hamilton, Oggies, and take Williams well and get it down the Bentley straight to take that position off Pimley. And now we're back with Andres Bedoya in 9th position, who's looking like he's trying to challenge John Davis, and that was a great bit of drafting. I think it's a little bit too short, really, without a dive into the... Oh, goodness me, there's another car off, and that is... Can we have a quick replay of that, please? That's Rob Windsor. What happened now? Oh, he got a bit of a nudge, and 2 cars collided there. That's a real shame. His downforce shouldn't be too badly damaged. It looks like there's not too much damage on that wing there where he caught it, rejoined safely. And now behind Andres Bedoya, he's climbed another place. Ollie Pimley has climbed 4 positions, currently sitting in 5th, and is now coming into Nelson. Round Nelson and into Bombhole and into that big long parabolica at Boram, and that tight left-hand corner at Murray's. And behind Ollie Pimley is Andrew Jones, looking to take advantage of any mistake there. And Damien Lobet has... Oh, there was a little bit wide there from Ollie, and you can see there that Andrew Jones did gain a little bit of time as they come onto the start-finish straight, but not quite enough to draft into Riches. Now on board with Jacob Hyde, who's in 2nd, and is looking to maybe catch up with Mark Jennings. Heading towards Andrew Jones, who's looking to challenge Ollie Pimley, late braking there. Ollie Pimley gets a better exit as he's coming round Montreal and heading towards Palmer. Is Andrew Jones going to continue to late brake, or is he going to maybe and try and get that good exit. He's looking to outdraft, no, and he's braking right hard as we go around that real sharp corner of Agostini. A short bit of straight. I don't think there's enough overtaking straight there. Andrew, and then we're coming around the soft left-hand bend of Hamilton, in towards that tight right of Oggies, and just needs to hold his nerve a little bit before we come the right-hand bend for Williams for that Bentley straight. So if he comes out of Williams well enough, then he's close enough, then he'll be able to take a position off Ollie Pimley. And looks like Peter Cox has gone off for a third time. I think we might get a replay from producer Sean shortly. Right now we're still with Andrew Jones, who has not managed to take the position off Ollie Pimley. Here we are back with Peter Cox on a replay. I think it was just, yeah, he sounds like he's having a horrible evening. Goodness me, yeah. Here we are back with Andrew Jones, who hasn't really gained much time. Oh, he looked like he was starting to slide a little bit there around that corner, maybe putting the power on a little bit too anxiously, but it did gain in 3/10, and he's drafting beautifully down the start-finish straight. Now he's going to try and go for the inside overtake around Riches. Gets it. Beautiful overtake there from Andrew Jones. But is he going to re-lose the prize? No, he's not. He's managing to hold on the position. He's guarded it properly as he comes into Montreal, that really big hairpin, a little bit wide, and Ollie Pimley might have got a better exit, and he's basically closed up that gap between them. So this is... Okay, we're going to Dave Stringfellow, and behind him is Damien Lobbett, and he's looking pretty dangerous there as they go into Hamilton and round to Oggies. Just need to bide your time, get your timing right, come out of Williams well, and take the position on that Bentley straight. Brake hard into Nelson, make sure you've got the balance right as you come into that little left and then right-hand turn at the end of the straight. So you are still with Dave Stringfellow, goes a little bit wide. It's looking like Lobbett hasn't gained enough time to take advantage of any kind of late braking on the straight. Here we are back with Jacob Hyde in second position, and he is now 3/10 behind Mark Jennings. Mark Jennings seemed to holding on to his position, and it looks at this point as though Jacob's going to have to try pretty hard or hope that Mark Jennings makes an error. And we're hopping now to Damien Lobbett. He's really closing up on Dave Stringfellow as they're coming onto the start-finish straight. He is 5/10 behind though. Would he come out of that well? And they came out of it slightly the same. I think he came out slightly worse off there as they come into Riches. And there's that short straight before that hard braking zone before you get to Montreal, the horrible hairpin. Now, there was a bit of defence going on there, and Damien Lobbett tries to go left, maybe go a little bit wide and do the crossover behind as they come out of Montreal, heading towards Palmer. He's still very close. He's made up a bit of time. And they're coming now into Hamilton by the looks of it, I think. No, that's incorrect. They're coming into Agostini, a hard left. Damien Lobbett is really trying hard. He's really late braking now, and there's that little short bit of a straight before they come into the Hamilton. And there's that hard right to Oggies. Again, best chance to come to overtake is a great exit, and that's a superb baby. That was very, very close. That was, my goodness, Damien Lobbett really does try hard, and they did very well for a knocked-out accident to happen there as they were coming round Williams, and they both got a good exit, but it looks like Stringfellow exited slightly faster, but there's no draft there available for Damien Lobbett, and there's a left-hand turn at the end of straight, and we'll see who's got that. That is Stringfellow. Oh, and there's a bit of a touch, and Damien Lobbett spins. Luckily, all of the rest of the field seem to be coming past it. Damien Lobbett really sits still, waiting for traffic to pass. And here we are with Mark Jennings, who's just strolling round the track, 5/10 ahead of Jacob. And it's not looking really like they're kind of lapping very, very closely. If you look at the time, the last lap from Mark Jennings was 1:48.62, and Jacob was 1:48.7, so it's only 800 slower. But he has now made a bit of time. He's now 3/10 behind him as they come into the Rich's turn, heading towards Montreal, and he's looking. Mark Jennings moved over to defend a little bit there, with Jacob Hyde going slightly wide. And then maybe looking to take advantage of a slightly higher speed. As they're going down a bit of a straight, heading towards Palmer, and they're still only 2/10 apart now. And Jacob Hyde is now very, very seriously challenging for the lead. So as they're coming into Agostini, they both need to basically take this really straightforward, really easily, and try and get good exits out of Williams before they come up to Oggies. Now they're approaching Oggies at hard right, hard braking. There's a gap opened up between them again, 3/10. It's looking like Mark Jennings has taken Agostini and Hamilton slightly better. They're coming out of Williams into Bentley Straight with Jacob Hyde only 3/10 behind him, making up time in the draft. 2/10. Is he going to be able to take the inside line into Nelson? He's not quite close enough. I'm going to head back to Andres Bedoya, who's in 6th position, and he's looking like he's challenging Ollie Pimley. He's only 5/10 behind him as they come round Nelson into Bombhole before they go into the Parabolica of Coram and that hard left Murray's before the start-finish straight. Here we go, Jennings is on the start-finish straight, and Jacob is only 3/10 behind him. There's another opportunity at drafting here. Will the Rich's corner, which is quite a fast corner, offer another opportunity? Mark Jennings didn't feel the need to defend that corner. He didn't really feel that Jacob Hyde was giving him enough, there wasn't being enough dangerous, but then Jacob is trying to go round the outside of Montreal, and there's a bit of a touch there, but luckily no real damage to either car. It looks like Jacob Hyde still maintains 2nd position. He doesn't spin off, and they're coming in around Palmer corner onto the shortish straight heading towards Agostini. Jacob Hyde is all over Mark Jennings. He's really trying to rattle him left and right, weaving behind him. Coming round Agostini, a little bit of a short straight into that fast left-hander at Hamilton. He's 3/10 behind him now. And now here with Dave Stringfellow on board in his Ferrari 488 behind Jacob Hyde, who seems to have caught up a little bit with that battle in 1st and 2nd. Dave Stringfellow's taken advantage of that and managed to close the gap to Jacob Hyde. So if Jacob's not careful, he's going to have to be defending his place while still trying to take 1st position from Mark Jennings. Here we are heading down the long, fast Bentley Straight. Mark Jennings is trying to defend. He's moved a little bit wide. What was his game plan there, do you think? I'm not really quite sure. He's let Jacob Hyde straight through. Has he got damage? Has he slowed right down there? Has he? He did get hit on Montreal, but is that enough damage to ruin his top line speed for Jacob Hyde to open up an 8/10 gap at the end of that straight? That's a little bit of a squeak from Jacob there as he came in that corner. Here we go, and it does seriously look like Mark Jennings has lost a lot of speed. He was offline, but still shouldn't have lost that much speed against Jacob, although maybe Jacob was just drafting him and managed to slingshot properly. And here we are. There's 1, 2, 3 are really close as Jacob comes round. Riches goes really wide. That's a real shame for such a great overtaking manoeuvre. Let's 2nd and 3rd take 1 and 2. Dave Stringfellow now challenging for 1st position. He's alongside Mark Jennings. Andrew Jones is in 3rd position, and now we are with Mark Jennings as they're coming round a Palmer Street and heading towards the short straight towards Agostini. Mark Jennings is only 1.5 ahead of Dave Stringfellow, and that was a beautiful. What on earth happened there? Was that a touch? Was that a damage? Can we have a replay of that, please? And Dave Stringfellow takes the lead with Andrew Jones in 2nd, Mark Jennings in 3rd. It looked like Mark Jennings just stopped dead. And here we are on board with Dave Stringfellow, and yeah, there was a bit of a touch from Dave Stringfellow there that knocked Mark offline, and he basically braked before he left the circuit. Back with Mark Jennings, who's now in 3rd. Andres Bedoya is nearly 2 seconds behind him, so that's a safe 3rd at the moment. If there's not too much damage, then the speed that Mark Jennings was lapping will be able to catch up with Andrew Jones and maybe challenge for 2nd and 1st place. As we come on now with Dave Stringfellow, who's in 1st place. Andrew Jones only just behind him, 3/10 as they're coming round bomb hole and into that fast right Coram, and before you have to brake hard for Murray's. I always get this corner wrong. It's really hard. The Coram corner really lulls you into a false sense of security. And then onto the start-finish straight there with Andrew Jones 4/10 behind Dave Stringfellow. And here we are back now with Jacob Hyde in 7th position. And he is looking like he's challenging Rob Windsor. He's only 3/10 behind him now as they come round Riches. And there's Andrew Jones as he went a little bit wide in that corner and allowed Dave Stringo to gain some space. And here we are on board with Andrew. He looks like he tried to go around the outside, turned in a little bit too hard, lost the back end slightly, but there was no contact there, I don't think, giving Andrew Jones a bit of breathing space. And here we are, and Andrew Joe, and he's catching up now with David Stringfellow, who's 6/10 behind him. He's got to do a lot of work to catch, and that's nearly 3/4 of a second. So he really needs to start, basically settle his heart rate down, start taking those apexes, exits correctly, what he's been doing all race to come up to 2nd position. And oh my goodness, Andrew Jones has just gone a little bit wide there on Williams as he comes into the Bentley straight, allowing Andrew Jones to take 1st position. And Dave Stringfellow is still maintaining 2nd by the looks of it, with Mark Jennings in 3rd. That has allowed Mark Jennings to really catch up to Dave Stringfellow there. And we're on board with Mark now as they come round Nelson towards Bombhole Corner. Braking a little bit hard on the power there as we come round Coram. Holding your nerve. Getting that apex, changing down, and braking hard into Murray's for the long start-finish straight. And Mark Jennings is now maybe a second behind Dave Stringfellow, who is 2.5 behind Andrew Jones. So the real 1, 2, 3 is really opening up now, and it looks like Andres Bedoya is challenging 4th. That was a great drive from him, considering he went off early, and he's now only 8/10 behind Mark Jennings. So, leader of the race is now being challenged for 3rd position by Andres Bedoya, and we know he's fast. So is he able to basically maintain his composure and keep it on the track and make up that time and take him on the Bentley straight? We're watching Andres now as he comes round the hard left that is Agostini, and it looks as though there is a bit of a problem with the Lamborghini of Andrew Jones. We're now on board with him. We'll see what's happened there. He probably went a little bit hard, maybe overcooked it. Yeah, he got on the power a little bit too early there and spun out. Oh dear! And then yeah, that was a bad rejoin there, and he clocked Mark Jennings as he tried to get going again. Now we're back online with Andres Bedoya, who is in 3rd position, but Andrew Jones wants that place back. He's really challenging Andres there, so Andres just needs to apexes and exits, same as every driver ever knows. Just hold your composure, calm down after a bit of an event. It might have rattled him, and catch Mark Jennings. Remains to be seen if Mark Jennings has got any damage from that collision with Andrew Jones. It might have ruined his top speed a little bit with the aero, and Andres is now only 4/10 behind Mark, 3/10. So he is definitely making up time on the long straight, and he's looking to challenge for 2nd position. And it looks as though Mark Jennings might well have some aero damage, which is reducing his top speed, which is a real shame. But Andres Bedoya is now getting really close to Mark Jennings as they come round Palmer Corner and the short bit of a straight. Is this straight going to be long enough for... and there's a bit of a spin ahead, and it looks as though Stringfellow is dropping down the order, and it looks like he really did overcook that corner a little bit too much and has gifted 1st position back to Mark Jennings. But now Andres Bedoya is in contention for first. Here we are, we're on board with Dave Stringfellow, and I think he looked like he caught a bit of grass and got on the power a little bit too early, bumped his nose, might have a bit of aero damage there himself now. Andres Bedoya, second position. This is a monumental drive from Andres, and everything looked lost initially, but this is, you just keep plugging away, and he's now challenging for first, but also has to defend Andrew Jones, who's in third, who is only 10th behind him as they're coming down the Bentley straight, and he tries to go on the inside, but brakes a little bit too early as they come round Nelson and heading towards Bomb Hole. Jacob Hyde is now back up to fourth position, which is a great bit of driving for him, considering the tangle he got in earlier. And it was a lovely overtake from car 97, and he just went around the outside of car number 5. There we are with Andrew Jones as he crosses the finish line, with Mark Jennings in first, Andres Bedoya in second, and Andrew Jones third, still challenging for second position. Now 1, 2, 3 are exceedingly close. It looks like there's a bit of damage on the front of Andrew Jones's car there. Andres tries to go, has a bit of a look around the inside. Mark Jennings tries to defend, and Andrew Jones goes around the outside. Can he get enough power on quickly? He's challenging Bedoya. It looks like he's just nosed ahead of Bedoya, and that was a great overtake there from Andrew Jones around the inside of the corner. Bedoya is going to be looking to reclaim that second position, no doubt, as they come into Agostini and head down the short shout to Hamilton. That quite fast left-hander before the hard right, and again that all-important Williams corner to get a good exit down the Bentley straight for that long shout down towards Brundle corner. Mark Jennings first, Andrew Jones second, Andres Bedoya third, still nothing in it. Hole, and looks like Jacob Hyde actually is challenging Andres Bedoya for third position. He's caught up a little bit. Looks like Andres has maybe been a little bit rattled by those, by the overtake performed by Andrew Jones. And Jones is now looking like he's wanting to make a move to retake first position. First 4 cars are neck and neck. That was a lovely overtake from Ollie Pimley, but is he going to get the crossover? And no, and that's right, and Lobbett retakes position there, side by side. A little bit of a nudge there, but Lobbett is on the inside of the corner. Ollie is trying to go around the outside. There was a bit of a touch between the doors. He has to back off, I think, and let Lobbett through. They go a little bit wide as they come down the start-finish straight. First and second now neck and neck, with Andres Bedoya in third. Andrew Jones retakes the lead as they come into the Rich's corner, and he's gone a little bit wide, and third position Andres Bedoya is now right up there along with Jacob Hyde. Oh my goodness, Mark Jennings loses a bit of time. Bedoya goes around the outside. Mark Jennings managed to hold on to second place. Andrew Jones opens up a bit of a lead. Mark Jennings drops into third as Bedoya takes second position. As we are coming towards the end of the race, there's 4 minutes left. There's still everything to play for these first four races. Jacob Hyde has now taken third position from Mark Jennings. Maybe a little bit, his heart's pumping a little bit hard from all that action. And goodness me, we've got 4th, 5th and 6th all right up there with the 3 leaders. Andres Bedoya is now in second. He's 6/10 behind Andrew Jones, looking to maybe challenge for first, as he was doing a few laps before, and everything changed. He's been up and down this race order, and it is a fantastic drive from Andres Bedoya. And here we go, Jacob Hyde is now looking like he's edging up on Bedoya and looking to challenge for second position, with Mark Jennings breathing down Hyde's neck, and Lobbett is currently sitting in 5th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all within maybe a second and a half. That's incredible driving right here in the short race. And here we are with Damien Lobbett on the front left of his car. He's looking to really hassle Mark Jennings, maybe give him a little bit of grief. And that was a great exit there, looking like he might take the position. Fabulous overtake there as they're coming down the start-finish straight into Rich's. Is he going to be able to hold on and make it stick? He does. He comes back into the racing line and Mark Jennings has to brake a little bit and let Lebet through, and Lebet may have just gone a little bit wide. I think he was a little bit over enthusiastic there. Andrew Jones still hanging on to first position by the skin of his teeth, with Andres Bedoya close behind, Jacob Hyde, Damien Lovett, Mark Jennings and Ollie Pimley, all, and Rob Windsor as well, all really close to the front. This is an excellent race here from everyone, on all the drivers. Now we're watching Rob Windsor looking to challenge Ollie Pimley for sixth position as they come into the hard left of Agostini. And it looks as though Jones has had a bit of an accident, which is a real shame. And here we go, we're watching Andrew Jones coming into, and yeah, he's just spun again. Oof, there's a little bit of Andres Bedoya narrowly misses, Jacob Hyde catches him, and he manages to rejoin in fifth position behind Mark Jennings. So now we've got Bedoya, Hyde, Lovett, Jennings, Jones, Pimley. And here we are back in live racing with Rob Windsor, currently sitting in seventh position. And now with Ollie Pimley in sixth position as they come around Brundle into Nelson and round the bomb hole. Ollie Pimley is looking to hang on to this position. He's done excellently this race. He's gained 3 positions from his grid position and has had to really fight for it. And now with Jacob Hyde in second position, with Lovett really challenging there for that second place. As they come now down into the hard braking zone at Riches, Lovett tries to go down the inside and takes a little bit of curb, maybe slows him down a little bit too much, but has the inside as they go round into Montreal, and he has to take that position, and Jacob Hyde has to give him the position to save the accident. That was a great bit of overtaking there, really held his nerve, Lovett. But Jacob Hyde has not done yet. He's still close behind Lovett, and now that little bit of a tussle for second to third has allowed Andres Bedoya a bit of breathing space, but Lovett is like a man possessed, and he's been driving the skin off his car right now, so he can be looking to challenge first position in the next lap or two. Here we are, this must be the last lap actually, with 16 minutes over the allotted time. All Andres needs to do is hang on for the next few corners. Can Lovett catch up? And it's looking like Damien Lovett is now 3/10 behind Bedoya. He just needs to not brake too hard. Bedoya needs to, his heart must be pumping now, just don't make a mistake. And Lovett, it looks like he's going to hold on to second. Jacob Hyde doesn't look like he's in any danger of challenging for third position. And as we come around the final corner into the start-finish straight, is this going to be enough for Lebet? Is that draft going to be enough? Here we go, and we're coming round into the start-finish straight, and Lebet is drafting, and he just swings wide, and it's not quite enough. But that was an incredible drive from both Bedoya and Lebet and Hyde, with absolute action up and down the field. But those first 5 cars were really swapping places throughout the entire race. That was thoroughly exciting. Tim, what do you think to that race? Do you think we can look forward to more of the same in a lot more busy...
Wow, what a great way to start the evening. Porsche 1, 2, 3, and it almost seemed like at one stage here, and like nobody quite wanted the race win. No one wanted to be up front. You know, whoever got there, it was almost like it was a cursed position. They ended up getting involved in an incident or sliding off, or some form of action, or coming off the track somehow. So I mean, called it earlier on about Bedoya. What a recovery drive from him, who obviously slipped down the field and then recovered it all the way back to finish on the top of the podium.
Well, I think both Lebet and Bedoya, they both gained 13 positions in that race, which is frankly incredible, really. So it really should show you should not give up. So here we have the race results. Andres Bedoya in first in his Porsche GT3, followed by Damien Lebet and Jacob Hyde in third, Mark Jennings fourth, Andrew Jones fifth, Ollie Pimley sixth, Rob Windsor seventh, John David eighth, Andrew Brummer 9th, David Burridge 10th, Peter Cox 11th, Stuart Williams 12th, Dave Stringfellow 13th, Stuart Pearson 14th, and Christopher Bates in 15th. And such were the numbers in this that everyone scores points, which is, that's a definite bonus for everybody. Here's the championship standings. Andres Bedoya, that win has really boosted him. He's gained 5 positions in the GT Sprint Championship. He's now on 62 points. Edmondson, sadly, I didn't realise at the start of the race, didn't take part in this, has dropped him to 2nd position. So he's only got that race win from the first session. And Thien van der Wittenboer, again, didn't take part and has dropped to 3rd position. David Lambert retains his 4th position standing, due mainly to this incredible drive from gaining 13 places in this race. John Williams dropped 2 positions. Jacob Hyde holds his 6th. Morgan Driscoll has dropped 3. Mark Jennings holds his 8th. Rob Windsor has jumped 8 positions to number 9th on the table, and number 10, Matthew Struthers, and he wasn't here, so it looks like he's dropped 5 positions just through not being able to partake this week. Andrew Jones is in 11th. Good to meet him. If the long race is anything like this one, then it's going to be great, and I'm glad to be in the hot seat, so as it were, to be watching it.
Oh, definitely. We've always been spoilt for action on GT3s on iRacing UK, and yeah, again, it's great to see we've had so many new drivers come through for season 3, and they've really sort of taken up the mantle on being able to deliver on action.
Absolutely, yes. And we're looking now forward to the long race, and I think while Paul Busby, just what you're saying about rookies, Paul Busby won the elite class in the long race that's due to start. There was a rookie, Kiefer McKenna, who sadly couldn't join us this week. Who was a rookie and won the race outright, which is frankly incredible. So, I mean, clearly he's not going to be in rookie class beyond this season, I don't think, if he continues to drive like that.
Certainly not. I don't know if James is. I don't know if he's quite back in the booth. James, what do you make of that race?
Wow. Did anybody want to win that race? That was literally insane. And Jacob Hyde's comeback. Oh, man. That was literally incredible.
I think they all had to go having a bit of a comeback, to be fair. There was, Bedoya, Lebet, started right at the back of the grid and picked his way through. And yeah, it was almost like they just didn't want to win at one stage.
I know. Nobody really wanted to just take it up and get a hold of it by the throat and go, right, I'm going to go and win this. But there was an off track, there was a spin, there was a wide in the corner, there was Lebet charging through everyone. It was crazy.
I can't really remember because there's so much going on, but did Damien Lebet come off at the start of the race? Was that what dropped him down the field?
Just based on the griding positions, that's where he started. He started right at the back, and he was the fastest driver within the warm-up session. So I think he was always going to be one to watch out for. But yeah, an absolutely brilliant drive from him, elevating him from the back all the way up to 2nd place.
Yeah, and I'm glad to see Andres Bedoya actually fulfilling his promise as well, because last week he did look very fast indeed and was definitely challenging first position, I think, in the sprint race. But I think there was as we talked about earlier, there was a bit of an incident. I think that put him out of the race, which is a real shame.
Definitely, with it. Well, of course, Snetterton being based in Norfolk, I think there was Norfolk in chance of us having a lack of action definitely tonight, and we saw it during the Porsche Cup race a couple of weeks ago, or just over 2 weeks now. Obviously, having to delay the footage from Sunday night because there's a slightly important occasion happening, and GT3 is not disappointing. Now, Ian, you mentioned about Paul Busby's name there. Now, just to make the viewers aware, there was an interesting little plot line that developed earlier in the week between Paul Busby and Matt Cox. Now, Matt, he runs the Porsche Cup League and also participates in GT3s as well. And they decided to, Matt threw down the gauntlet to Paul Busby, saying that he could beat him during tonight's race. Now, Paul's obviously, he's one of our stronger drivers, and he's beaten the likes of Fernando Alonso, yes, the Fernando Alonso, on iRacing. That was at Laguna Seca in a GT3 race a few months ago. And obviously, we know Matt's, he's no slouch himself, but I think he's going to have his work cut out. And, well, what's at stake? So whoever finishes lower, so has to donate £50 to the brilliant mental health charity that is Mind, and someone we've supported quite a bit on the within the Discord community. Also, we're going to be fundraising on the way up to the Spa 24-hour event for that. So this will really get the ball rolling. However, just to add a little bit more spice to the pot line, if they have a coming together, whoever causes the crash has to pay in £50. So if you cause the crash and you finish below the other driver, you could end up being only finishing low in the standings, but also £100 lighter in your back pocket. Become the end of the race. Not too long to go. He's got practice, about 5 minutes left of that now. And you see Paul Busby to top of the tap. Now, I was chatting to both the drivers earlier. And now, Paul Busby, not being a shy chap, really nice guy. He was telling me earlier how nervous he was going to be. And especially, he's been grinding out a lot of laps at Snetterton this past week. However, he said there is no way that Matt Carrot Crunching Coxey is getting any way past him. Of course, a little reference there to Matt being from Norfolk, and of course Snetterton being his home track, because he's actually based not too far from the track. Now, I had a chat with Matt as well, and he was equally as complimentary about his rival, as you can imagine, saying that Paul will cook his tyres and skid off into the fields after the first few laps due to him not really having pedals, just having switches, just go off and on, because he's so heavy-footed, and that consistency would be the answer tonight around Snetterton. Obviously, we've seen that from our earlier race as well. Now, Paul, he said all this Paul is used to doing is burnouts down the high street in his Ford Fiesta in Southend, quote unquote.
That's right, with his McDonald's trays underneath the rear wheels, just to get Nova spinning.
Exactly, mate. Exactly. So, however, they were both saying that I think back markers could play a large part of the race result tonight. Obviously, we've got 45 drivers in the main race tonight. So, Snetterton, although it's not much longer now, since they built the infield. However, it is going to be a bit tighter. There's a bit more longer of a lap, now they've put the infield in and to create the 300 version. So named because I think it's about 3 kilometers in length. Now, we're going to put up a poll in the chat. And I want everyone within the chat to vote when that starts to appear. Who they think is going to come out the top. Is it going to be Matt Carrot Cruncher Cox or Paul Southend Busby? So, James, what's your thoughts? Who are you putting your money on? Paul Busby. Is that you're going with? What about yourself, Ian?
I think Paul will take it. But having said that, the fact that Paul is a little bit nervous to do with the aforementioned wager. I wonder if that will add a bit more of a frisson to his driving and kind of make those exits a little bit harder. So I haven't really seen Matt Cox's time in the practice session. Maybe he's just keeping his powder dry and just going to blow everyone out of the water.
So at the moment he's around about 10 seconds slower. Yeah, so I think it may be a little bit of sandbagging going on there from Matt now.
Yeah, just dragging his brake on the way round just to get some. There we go. He's actually put a proper lap in now. There we go.
Well, the poll is up within the chat, so everyone go and vote now. Now, if you want to stay up to date with what's going on iRacing UK channel, or maybe you just need an excuse to get away while the other half is watching Love Island or such like, then drop us a like and a follow. Obviously, that will ping up every time that we go live on one of our broadcasts. Obviously, subscribe on YouTube as well. You can subscribe on Twitch as well. Now, the community is put together by volunteers. All of the races, such as tonight, and leagues that we put on are completely free. So that really helps to support the channel. And helps to raise funds to ensure that it is kept completely free. You can also keep up to date with events on Twitter and Instagram, where we, on both of those formats, we are IRUK_team. Or alternatively, we are also on Facebook, which is obviously facebook.com/iRacing UK. And also, if you really enjoy the action tonight, think I'd love to be part of your Discord community, then you can also drop us a message on Facebook, where we will send you across an invite. Now, just having a quick look at the poll, 75% of the vote at the moment is giving it to Paul Busby. There's a little bit left to go. Chris Rowland's there putting in the chat, if I pay a back marker £25 to crash into the other, it would save one of them up to £75. Well, you're not wrong there. So we've just got qualifying just about a kick underway, 15 minutes of that. And we'll pick up one of the drivers, and we'll probably go on board for a bit of a lap then. And Ian, I think this is probably a good point for us to say goodbye to yourself.
Yeah, thank you guys, thank you Tim, and have a good call.
Thank you very much
for the race. I'm going to be watching in the commentary box though, and I'll hopefully maybe join you at the end of the race for a bit of a chit chat.
Oh, definitely.
Have a great time.
Thanks very much, Ian. Right, James, here we go. We're on board currently with Rob Armstrong, father of a mainstay at the front, James Armstrong. And do you want? I think he's just part way through the lap currently, and I think he's currently on his out lap. Yeah, not currently on a flying lap yet, and we'll try and pick someone up a little bit earlier on the lap, and we can take us around a bit of a lap. So, what's your expectations for tonight, James? What do you think is going to happen, mate?
Honestly, after watching the last race, mate, I think we're going to have a very competitive session. Right? I'm not going to lie. If we could keep it like it was in the last one, that would be absolutely amazing. But
oh wow! I think
this race as well, it was crazy, wasn't it? There was everything going on. So, to be honest, I think it's going to be really close to it. I do believe Paul Busby will be that cocked, right? But the last time I called a driver out from Willoughby in the last one.
Well, yes, look what happened there.
Yeah, he ended up 2 places back. So I'm trying to take his curse on anybody at the moment, mate, and just hopefully they will get round safely and win and somebody. There you go. How about that?
Here we go. We just got just picked up on board. I'll just have a look. That's with Neil Smith. Do you want to take us round the lap? He's just coming round Rinches. He's heading down to Montreal, James.
Yeah, you carry on, mate, because I am having issues. I'm stuck.
Okay, no worries.
My local camera's not working.
That's okay, no worries. So we've just headed round Montreal there, and it's a short little blast up to the left-hander that is Palmer. This part of the new 300. Well, I say new. It's been around for a few years. This infield section that was added onto the track, and the short straight, hard onto the brakes, down a couple of gears into Angostini. Just being really, you've got to be careful on the power there, not get on it too early. Neil just Smith just getting onto the grass a little bit there, and around the left that is Hamilton. It's more of a slight little kink, and down to the sharp right that is Oggies, which is going to take you then almost immediately out onto Williams and to join where the original part of the circuit used to just carry on to. And then it's a long drag down to Bentley Straight. Snetterton was originally one of the fastest circuits within the UK, but before it was then chopped down, and the more common incarnations were created, and it's this sort of left and right where you've got to really slow the car down here for this. That's Nelson's. And then the corner that always sort of catches me out, these next 2 corners there. First one being Bombhole, that he's just gone round there. And then this long sweeping right-hander that tightens up. There's Coram. Hard onto the brakes now. You can see Murray's the sign for it on the left, right-hand side there, using all of the runoff. And then it's just a long drag all the way to the start-finish line, which is quite far up the start-finish straight. And across the line, Let's see, that puts Neil Smith, he goes third. Well, immediately Colin Wynn pops the time in, and Holloway's the drivers start to come across the line more and more. Matt Cox there going across in first place, a 1:46.2. Let's have a look, see what Paul Busby can do. Jonathan Hitchin just displacing him at the top there. Jonathan, winner of season 1, an incredibly strong driver. Cy Anthony puts it up onto 4th. A very strong showing from the Porsches there, currently occupying 2nd, 3rd and 4th on the grid. A great lap by Dave Louston there, sticking his Ferrari into 9th place. So he's immediately displaced by Luca and Struthers there in their Mercedes, taking up 9th and 10th place. And just a bit off the track there for Struthers. That'll kill off that lap for him. And we're just awaiting Mr. Busby to see where he comes in contention with Cox, and Cox currently 2nd on. And look at the times, hardly anything between those guys. What, that's 5,000th of a second, no, sorry, 6,000th of a second, separating Hitchin in 1st and Cox in 2nd place. And with 2 completely different cars. James, have you managed to sort your issues yet, or you?
Just almost there. I've got a funny feeling.
Oh, no worries. No worries. That's no problem. As Gravilli snatches 1st place as well. Wow, look at how close these times are. Less than half a tenth separating 1st, 2nd, and 3rd currently. Brilliant, and it's great to see, Jonathan Hitchin just sneaking his Ferrari in there into that Porsche fest that is the top 4 with three of their cars currently sat within there. Great job from Stuart Brown, sticking his BMW up into 5th place. And just to see a few more. Oh, sorry.
Nothing from Busby. I can see Cox is on the board in 3rd. Is Busby not up?
No, he's not. He's not up yet. We're just currently watching him at the moment in his blue Porsche 911. Always carries the number 420, does Paul, and he's just coming down the sort of the Bentley straight into the left-right. That is Nelson's. He's just around about only a couple of quarters left to go. He's rounding bomb hole, and then round the long right-hander that is Coram. You see very kindly the guys at Snetterton put names out on boards in the entry to each corner, and then it's flicking the car left and making sure you get the power down nice and early to get maximum traction and head out down towards the start-finish straight. Here comes Busby. Let's see where this puts him.
Is he gonna go?
Is he going to go? We're just waiting for this timing sheet to update. I think he had an off-track. He's had an off-track there, so he's going to have to go again there, James.
Oh, no, he got an off-track as well.
Oh, no.
Anticipation, Tim. We're like, come on, what's the time? But he got a 1x as well, so we got all excited for absolutely nothing. So let's hope he can put his lap together.
But while we're watching Busby there, Gravilli has gone faster again. Look at that. First person to break into the 145. So 145.994. Brilliant lap from Gravilli, who's made the switch from Lamborghini last season across to Porsche. That move really paying dividends for him. Of course, the Porsche brand new to iRacing, really popular car. And Matt Cox just puts it up into 2nd place. Busby's going to have the work cut out here. He's going to have a lot of work to do. So if he wants to get in and get near the front guys, the Porsche clearly the dominant car at Snetterton here, as we've seen during the short race earlier. And the Porsche is dominating at the sharp end of the grid, occupying 3 of the top 4 places. And Busby just coming around the last couple of corners there through Nelson, just bumping the curb on the inside on the second part, the right-hander, as he comes round bomb pole. And then heads up to corner, and that's going to fit. That's going to be another up track for Busby. Oh, he seems to be cracking under the pressure, Paul Busby. Oh no, this could it could be over before it's even begun for him. He's going to be so frustrated in that car, James.
How long has he got left? We haven't got long left, have we?
He's not got too much long left. He has got enough time to go again. There we go. Oh no, it wasn't off track. He has gone 5th, so he's currently 3 places behind Matt Cox. So, but there's look at that, only 2 tenths between the 2 drivers, and Jonathan Hitchin, his lonely Ferrari, sat in amongst 5 Porsches. The Ferrari meet in a Porsche sandwich.
It was the same though, wasn't it? In the last one, there was all Porsches at the top. It was always the same. You know, it's such a strong car at the moment.
So just watch Stuart Bickley now as he comes round in his Mercedes. Big shout out to Rusty Racing. Thank you for the subscription there. Chakar, thank you for the follow as well on Twitch. And no relation. Matt Cox is no relation to myself. Just a pure complete coincidence, and that is genuine. That's not me trying to lose in a bit of unbias. And Newton also saying, I don't mind who wins as long as Cullen loses. A nice bit of a rivalry there between Chris Rowlands, one of our commentary team, and Ben Cullen. So not long left now. We've got about 5 minutes left of qualifying as we're watching Charlie Bebb here and his BMW run incredibly wide, and I think that's that lap over and done with. Just checking in with Tim Darricott and his Mercedes. He ran Mercedes last season. Let's see how he gets on. He's just posting another lap. Let's see how he gets on with this one then, James. What do you think?
He's going to have to go some to get up into the top 6, isn't he? Let's be real.
He has, yeah. Busby's gone faster again. Look, he's put him up into second. And the battle intensifies between himself and Cox. Second and third place currently on the grid. And I think it's obviously with a rolling start in GT3s as Gravelli goes faster again. Look at that, a 45.8. Stunning that from Alberto Gravelli. He's half Italian and he is half, well, he's not half on fire, he is fully on fire tonight in that Porsche 911 at Snetterton.
He was quick again the last time though, wasn't he? He was quick in the last
yeah.
as well, so
he's just going, well, tonight he just keeps going quicker and quicker. So we just
Tim, Busby, Paul and Matt Cox at the beginning. What's the chance to get through the first corner?
Well, I think this is where it's going to be tricky. They're either going to be highly respectful, but they were telling me earlier that they're not afraid to get their elbows out on one each other and run each other squeeze them out onto the grass a little bit to make the other one back out. So I think it's going to be very interesting, the battle at the sharp end. I think Gravelli will be just looking to just try and scamper away from him. And if he can carry that sort of pace on, then he will do. But I think the one to watch as well in amongst that is Jonathan Hitchin in 4th place provisionally at the moment, as we just look at Morgan Driscoll heading to the pits, because Jonathan, we've seen for the last 2 seasons, he is a really tough racer, and this could, we're just watching currently his brother Chris there in the Lamborghini, and this could go absolutely any way. Some really strong drivers at the front there. Obviously Tennant and Brown brand new to the championship, and we've seen, they're going to be really strong as well. They've put in some brilliant performances. So, James, I'm really not sure which way this could go.
I'm so worried about picking somebody.
Well, I think based on Chris Rowland's thing, I think your best bet's to pick Ben Cullen. As he's put that, he doesn't mind as long as Ben loses. So I think based on that, mind you, if you pick him, the opposite seems to happen, and Ben will probably end up winning, which I'm sure Ben will take with 2 hands.
Should we say Ben Cullen then? Let's go Ben Cullen. I've got a funny feeling if Gravelli gets away, it's his. But
a great lap by Richard Jones there in his Lamborghini. Put him up about 8 places there into 25th position. Really strong improvement, and it is so tight. Just looking at the timing sheet, James, just looking down at the times, there's hardly anything to separate our drivers. There's less than 2 seconds covering from 1st to 20. Let's have a look. Go down as far as, well, actually, I lie. It's down as far down as 29th place. And this is hardly anything, literally hundreds, thousands can make all the difference to your time. And
in 148, like the start of 148 at 35th place.
Yeah, it is absolutely astounding.
I just wait. If he really can get away, right, and if he can keep it clean, and if he can actually take, the ball wins and actually finish the race off. I think Gravili's got a good chance. But as we've seen in the last one, it seemed like whoever was in lead was going to have an off-track sliding, spinning. So, I don't know. I'm interested to see the Busby Cox battle. I think that's going to be epic at the beginning. I want to see if they're going to battle out or if they're going to play it pretty sensible, should we say.
Well, also, just looking down the the timing sheet here, you've got the likes of James Armstrong and his Mercedes down in 7th place. He's an incredibly strong driver, and you wouldn't, you'd be wise to put a bit of money on him for him to come through the field. Cy Anthony, we've seen great battles from him and his Porsche. Just watching that Steve Masters, he's trying to set a time and getting his Porsche very wriggly and squirrely there and just losing. I think he managed to keep it out the barrier as we go across to Richard Jones, currently occupying at 25th place. Not long left to go, 15 seconds. So it'll basically be a case of completing the lap that they are on. And yeah, you've got Charlie Bebb down in 10th as well. Charlie, we've seen he's been, he's ran it with the best of our drivers right at the sharp end of the grid. So it's just so competitive. Well, if you look at Wiley ahead of him, he's got exactly the same time as him, and then only 10. Well, what was that? 100th of a second is Cy Anthony ahead of him. So it's just so close.
Yeah, I can't. You can't pick this, can you? Let's be real about it.
You can't.
We're going to struggle either way with it.
I think whatever way we go, it'll be wrong.
Yeah, that's the worst thing, isn't it? It's whatever way we go, we're going to be wrong in some shape or form. And I just don't want to put commentators curse on anyone, mate. I've got to be honest.
Well, it makes for great view for the viewers at home. Absolutely, that driver's got a 5-minute warm-up just to complete. We'll be able to put the full grid up for you in a second. And yeah, I think it's just. GT3s, it's just got bigger and better. Just not just in terms of the size of the grid, which I know has got larger, but in terms of the quality of the racing, the drama and the spectacle, it just keeps getting better and better. I was watching the real-life British GT Championship. That was at Donington at the weekend. I mean, we don't have safety cars, obviously, within our league. But that was a 2-hour race, and they had 4 safety cars in the first opening half an hour. Now, I'm sure that it won't be quite as drama-filled, I would imagine. Hopefully not, and for some of our drivers. But yeah, it just shows you what a brilliant format that GT cars are. we've got completely different cars, different engine, position of the engine different in the car, different engine sizes and configurations, flat 6, V8s, V10s. They're all able to compete with each other on a level playing field.
Tim, you haven't said who you're going for.
I've deliberately done that. I've tried to waffle to ignore that one. This is tough. Who do I go for? I think looking at that qualifying pace, I think my money's got to be on Alberto Gravili. If he can get a good start and he can pull clear of, I think, what is going to be some epic battles behind him, then I think he should be able to just keep pulling away and he should be fine. However, this is GT3s, and as we've seen, absolutely anything can happen. You've second corner, Montreal, which is a big braking event. It's a big hairpin, and yeah, this could go absolutely any way.
It only is going to take one mistake from somebody. And it's shown in the last one hit of the brake too hard or one keeping your foot on it and still running your accelerator. And you go round. There's nothing that... Look, even in warm-up, we've got people going off track. I think it's going to be tight. I think this is going to be... Whoever can hold their nerve, whoever doesn't in the lead... field and eventually win it, but it's going to be tough, mate. It's definitely going to be tough.
Definitely, and I think it's just literally it is going to go absolutely any way, and it's just wow. I mean, we'll be looking. It's now a bit of a role reversal. Currently, in the warm-up session, we've got Austin Campbell in his BMW top of the time sheet. Not quite the qualifying level. Obviously, the drivers now running around within their race back with a bit more fuel on board, but wow, I mean, if they can make it through the first few corners, I mean, the track does seem a little bit slippery, and I mean, it's not even as if like the caliber of the drivers, you know, in terms of their out-and-out pace is slower within the, you know, or they're of a less skill level in the short race. You know, we've got some really strong drivers within that category, and this, I think, it just shows that absolutely anything, like you say, anything could happen. See there from the temperatures up on screen, the track nice and cool today. A very cool 36 degrees and 18 ambient, and racing game taking part at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I know obviously it's a little bit later. Don't tend to rate this, you know, in real life at this late unless it's one of the endurance events. And well, James, I think we've only got less than a minute to go, and well, I think it's time just for us to take a deep breath and get ready for the madness that is going to be round 2.
I've got my drink set next to me because I think we're going to be doing a lot of talking.
Yes.
I've got that set next to me, ready to go. I'm sat here in anticipation, waiting, hoping that we get an absolutely barnstorming race. Right?
Definitely.
That's the hope, anyway. Do you know what I mean?
So just having a bit of, obviously, within the chat, post in there who you think's going to come out victorious tonight. As we were saying earlier, you know, this could go absolutely anyways. Paul Busby goes quickest within the warm-up session, just for a bit of last-minute kudos and get one-upmanship over Matt Cox. Just having a little bit of look through the chat. Let's have a look.
But Busby for the win.
Yeah, he has. Yeah, he's got that one down. Oh, it's building. And yeah, James, do you want to? I think we're showing 30th place there. Do you want to run us through the grid quick?
And we got Gravelli in pole. We got Paul Busby in second. Matt Cox third. Jonathan Hitchin fourth. Tom Tennant fifth. Stuart Brown sixth. James Armstrong seventh. Cy Anthony eighth. Dan White in ninth. Charlie Bebb in 10th. Tim Dalcott in 11th. Adam Holloway in 12th. Shane Abbott 13th, Darryl Norkett 14th, Strabons 15th, Sharkey 16th, Bickley 17th, Cheryl 18th, Pratt in 19th, Goslin in 20th, William 21, Cullen 22, Chatterton 23, Lowison 24, Richard Jones 25, Peroni 26, Johnson 27th, Hitchin 28th. Obviously there's Chris Hitchin, Hooper 29th, Luca 30th, Finn Vanden 31st, Colin Wynn 32nd, Tom Noble 33rd, 34th is Armstrong, Bacon 35th, and Driscoll 36th. Edisford 37, Smith 38, Green 39, Truby 40, Yee 41, Franklin 42, Farrell 43, and Steve Masters 44.
Well, I'm brave. Just got it done in time, ready for the drivers to head off on the start of the parade lap. Well, it's very short, you know, it's only part of the circuit, and that Porsche 911 safety car just coming round the last corner now and is about to peel off. Obviously, and we're just wow, I can't even get words out. I'm that excited. As Busby and Gravelli on the front row, look to head it away. They're going early. Let's get ready because in 1, 2, GT3 is go at Snetterton. But look at Cox. He's coming up the inside of Hitchin. He's not going to let Busby get away from him as they come round. Oh, that's a little bit of a wobble in the background. I think that was Stuart Brown there in his BMW. Great start by him. Really getting in amongst the Porsches as they come round Montreal for the first time. They've got Darracott there in his Mercedes, that white Mercedes there, and there's Jack. I heard a bit of smash of metalwork somewhere. There's Dave Lawson in his Ferrari, in his Ghostbusters liveried Ferrari, a new style one for this season. And it looks like everyone has managed to get through the first couple of corners completely fine. There's Gravelli running wide, and you've got look at Hitchin though, and that yellow Ferrari just trying to force his way through, and there we go, he's getting the move done on Alberto Gravelli. But look who's looming behind him. It's Matt Cox in his Porsche. And now they're just, I think that's straight around Angostini, and then it's to drive down to Hamilton now. And sorry, I've wrong part of the track. Sorry, they've moved much further around. That's round Williams. That's a long drag along the Bentley straight. And look, here comes the BMW of Stuart Brown. Real momentum, but look, he's boxed in. He's got nowhere to go. As the animal, they're coming along like no, they are. So the animals onto Noah's Ark 2 by 2 into Brundle and Nelson. Oh no, that's Matt Cox. That's Matt Cox. He's off the track. Oh no, and that's he's dropping down the timing order loads. He's down to 27 currently, and I think that could be his race done. It's going to take an absolute epic drive from Cox to get all the way back up again. We've got Charlie Beck. He's had a great start. He qualified. Oh, getting really leery there in that fight with. Who's that with? That's with Stuart Brown. He's lost a bit of ground from all these incidents. Obviously, Matt Cox all getting really at his elbows out massively there. But James Armstrong, that BMW, to go wheel to wheel, wing mirror to wing mirror, up to the first corner, James. And wow, it's this. What a start! Where do you go? You got drivers jinxing left and right as they're trying to fight their way through the pack, and it's close absolutely everywhere.
Oh, Kalulu running wide, Busby out in pole, Matt Cox going, oh, dude, Matt has got a big mission to get back now. I think he's, yeah, I think he's going to be 50 quid lighter.
I think, yeah, I think that's going to be his, yeah, like you say, his, he's going to be 50 pounds lighter, definitely, come the end of tonight. I mean, luckily it wasn't the contact between the two of them, and didn't cost him too badly. And we've got Franklin here. Let's have a look what happened to him as my system decides it wants to crash on me. There we go. Yeah, just catching up on the broadcast. Yeah, it looks like he's spun there. So unlucky from Franklin there. There we go. We've got Shane Abbott here now. Let's look how he's getting on currently. A great start from him, but 4 positions into 12th place already. It's decided to completely. Technical gremlins seem to be eluding all of us tonight. It's clearly the nice weather. It's creating a few issues in the system. So we currently look at, we've got Murray Luca here in his Mercedes. A bit of a change from last year's Ferrari. And that lovely Space Fiend livery that he's running this season down in 26th position. He's got a little bit of a train fawning behind him there, Murray. He's got about 5 cars behind him. He's got Tom Noble, Hooper, Rob Armstrong, Driscoll as well, and Lee Green, who's not exactly any slouch. We've seen some great performances from Lee Green in his Ferrari last season. As we ride on board now with Luca, and we've got a car off ahead of them as well. I'm not too sure. That's one of the Porsches there. Didn't quite catch. Was that Cy Anthony? I think possibly.
No, I think I still did see who that was. Let's hope we can get
I think that, yeah, I'm not too sure who that was, but we'll see if we can come back to that in a bit. There, just a little bit further behind the Murray Luca train, you've got. Here we go, we've got Cy Anthony. He's just trying to close the gap up on him. He's got Noble ahead of him, and oh no, he's run very wide there. So that's a bit of a curse to the commentator. Here we go, we've got Hooper here now. Oh, we've got another spinner there off to one side. And there we go, we've got. Here we go, Shane Abbott. He's got, there seems to be trains of cars absolutely everywhere. An absolute stream of GT3s in the background. But he's going to go defensive. He's got the, who's that behind him? That's, yeah, Shane Abbott. It's Jake Cherrell, sorry. He's at the front of this train in his Porsche and holding up a whole stream of cars, about 5 or 6 of them currently. Obviously, looking at Porsche, will hopefully come a little bit more alive during the end of the session. And he's going to have the traction as they come round the last corner that is Murray's and head down the start-finish straight. And the Ferrari, we know of Abbott, the Ferrari's incredibly strong in a straight line. And at the end of lap 3 already, your order is Busby, Hitching, Veely, Tennant, James Armstrong into 5th, Beb Darracott, Wiley, Holloway, and Jake Cherrell rounding out your current top 10. And Campbell here is at the front end of that BMW. Just look at it. Oh, we've got a spinner. That's Neil Smith there. Absolutely sliding massively there, I think that was. no, one of the Mercedes, sorry, that wasn't Smith. I don't know how he managed to quite keep that one together. He's battling away with Matt Cox. Oh, running incredibly wide there and banging into the side of, I'm just trying to look, I think that was Stuart Brown there has also fallen down the order. Let's take a little look and see what happened as we look at the replay of Smith now. It's just getting on the power. Oh, the BMW cut back around when it's trying to get in front of the Ferrari. I think that's Damien G or Gary Bacon there ahead of him. And yeah, just completely the passenger in that one there, Neil Smith, James.
Yeah, he definitely was, didn't he? Didn't places to go with that car coming across at him. So, yeah, he just sat there.
Yeah, it's just
wrong place.
Yeah, wrong place, wrong time. A bit of a passenger within that one, really, to be fair. Not really a lot he could do, really, on that one, to be fair. So I think somewhat off track. Jones has taken a little bit of a rotation and come off the track somewhere. We'll see if we can pick that one up shortly. But we've just got the battle of, we've got Bickley currently holding this little train up in his Mercedes.
Yeah, he's got Snetterton behind him. He's got William Campbell as well. They're very close together. It'd be interesting to see who can get a run, whether or not they can get a run around to Montreal. If Snetterton can get up on it, it'd be interesting to see. Is he going to get him on the way?
No, not quite this time around. We've got 23 laps to go and still plenty of time to be making moves. As we've seen, you know, the moves may be made all the way right up until the end and during the first race, James, and still plenty of time.
Yeah, the last 4 minutes were lively, didn't they? The last 4 minutes of the last race was absolutely insane. So we've got 23 to go, so, you know, hopefully ours will get livelier and livelier as it goes on.
Well, we saw during the F3 last night, myself and Chris Rowlands were on commentary duties for that one, and there are literally corners being made in the very, you know, overtakes being made in the very last corner of the last lap, and somewhere off camera, Van der Wissenborn's managed to come off track, had a bit of an incident. We'll see if we can try and bring that one to you. Let's take a look. Here we go, as if by magic. Oh, he's already onto the grass, and is he going to get it stopped in time? Just about, but there's Armstrong and his Mercedes running very wide, and he just carried too much speed trying to get the run on Armstrong, and it just caught him out there, James.
He just tapped his front, didn't he, as he come through. I don't think he was expecting it to come back across the track, to be fair. It's not a normal line, is it? There's something going across from there.
No, it's Armstrong just having a bit of a recovery there, and yeah, it's one of those things, obviously completely, you know, in his blind spot. You wouldn't have seen him coming, and yeah, a bit of a harsh one. We'll have to put that one down to a bit of a racing incident. Now look at Tim Garricott in his Mercedes up to 6th place. That white Mercedes. He's currently locked in about. He's got Charlie Bebb, but in the same livery as last year as in his BMW. That fluorescent yellow and blue camouflage style BMW. Just behind them, we've got one of the newcomers to the league, Darren Wiley, in his Porsche. Three completely different manufacturers, three of Germany's finest, all going wheel to wheel, as they're just coming around Angostini now for the 5th time, James.
Charlie's not looking at us going easy, though. It's a tough adversary. He'll have his elbows out full on that one. So Tim's going to have to, you know, play it cool a little bit sensible. You don't want to go dive bombing down on the inside, and I don't, you know, let's not jeopardise yourself.
No, let's
keep it remotely clean, but Charlie's going to have his elbows out, definitely, and he's not going to make this easy for Tim whatsoever.
Oh, just looking across at the timing sheet there, I think it's Stuart Bickley. He's got a bit of a train falling behind him. We'll see if we can cut to that battle. There's about 5 cars he's holding up, including David Lawson. He's up 23 places. A great start for him up to 17th place. You see him in that Ghostbusters livery Ferrari there, as they just come around Brandel and then into Nelson's. And so ahead of him is Mark Johnson. Great start from him up 13 places. Not quite as strong as Lawson. Well, just hopefully David dumps himself the most unlucky person in iRacing, and we saw it last year. Well, sorry, last season at the Battle of Interlagos, where he had to come in together just out of the pits. So that was an absolutely great battle to himself, Chris Hitchin and Lee Green. So Laos will be helping for a bit of a redemption and strong finish tonight as we had more some action further toward the front, as Busby seems to be clearing off into the distance in his Porsche ahead of Jonathan Hitchens' Ferrari there, James.
He's got a 2-second gap, hasn't he? Gravilli's 1.8 behind Hitchens, so I think Busby's going to have a... What is that? Where is Matt at the moment? What's happening with Matt Cox?
There we go. Just looking at the moment, all the way down in 30th, down 19 positions, and wow, he's got his absolute work to do. He's got a 30-second gap between himself and Paul. No, something's happened to Busby. I'm not sure whether it's my timing tab, but he's falling down the order, left, right, and centre. He's down to 18th. He's falling down massively. He's gifting it to Paul Cox. I'm not sure what's happened. No, I think it is just the timing screens. No, that's okay.
Oh,
but it was wow.
Just going down, Tim.
Oh no, I was just watching. I was just looking. I was like, well, hold on a minute, that doesn't look right. It's just watching him tumble down and praying something hadn't happened to him. And
the same thing. He was just plummeting down the order.
Well, yeah. Although if you're Matt Cox, you would absolutely be wishing that was happening right now. So he'd be bringing closer, and you wouldn't be 50 pounds lighter come the end of tonight. But Busby just coming across the line now to start the 7th lap of the race. So your order is Busby from Hitchens Ferrari, Gravilli down into 3rd after that. Yeah, brilliant qualifying performance in his Porsche. Tom Tennant up 2 places into 4th. Beb, Darricott, Wiley, James Armstrong in his Mercedes in 8th. Jack Cheryl and Shane Abbott round out your top 10. I'll try and race through all the order, but with 45 drivers, I think I'd be out of breath like yourself was earlier, James.
Chasing the end of the grid, it was just keep going and going and going.
Oh, yeah. It's a non-stop ever-ending train. And talk about ever-ending trains, we've got a nice little train here. We've got Stuart Bickley in that bright yellow Mercedes. He's got Austin Campbell behind him in that BMW, and Ben Cullen as well. I know Chris Rowlands will be hoping he's not doing quite as well and something happens to him due to their little rivalry between them. And another little battle here is this. These three just can't seem to leave each other alone. Beb, Darricott and Wiley, James.
So positions are also checked there. We've still got Beb in front. We've still got that. Still got Wiley behind him. So similar to that, right? It's like a real good crack at each other. I think it'd be interesting to see, but
I think they might be just biding their time a little bit, and I think we might, with about 2 or 3 laps to go, obviously we've got the pit stops as well. I think a bit of tactics, might see one of them break off a little bit early as well. But I think, sure, in the last couple of laps, we'll start to see those sharpened elbows start to come out, and if Beb's still at the front, they'll be making that BMW as wide as possible.
As wide as possibly can.
Yeah, well, here we go. This is a move. This is Austin Campbell on Stuart Bickley on the drag down Bentley Straight, too, with big thumping V8s and round the outside, which sets him up nicely into Nelson's, where you can just pop it up the inside and block off any advance from Bickley to try and get the undercut there.
Yeah, it was definitely a nice move. He set him up going down the straight. He set him up and then pulled to the right, and then just managed to follow it through without any incident. So that was... He did set that up like with 3 corners behind. See him really solid pushing.
Oh, Busby's cut. He's had an off track somewhere.
He's got off. He's off.
No, he's off. No. Let's have a look. Let's take a look what happened. Oh, he's got it onto the grass. No. Oh, thank goodness this is Snetterton. Of course, the infield, it's mostly fields and plenty of grass, so there's very few walls or obstacles to hit. But Matt Cox's prediction of Paul Busby wearing his tyres out seems to come true a little bit there. Just pushed it that bit too far and got a little bit too greedy, and Busby is down to 4th place. Matt Cox down in 27th place currently, so there's still quite a bit of a gap between those two guys, and yeah, Busby doesn't want to have any more of those, but the trouble is he could start to get absorbed into little battles. Like, the last thing he wants is to get caught up in this three-way battle that's catching up to him, the Beb, Darricott and Wiley battle.
Yeah, I think, to be fair, it showed how much of a gap he had on these though, guys, because obviously he was in first and they were down in 5th, 6th and 7th. But I think at the end of the day, he had a big enough gap to spin, get back on track and stay out in front. It's whether or not now he's going to keep a cool head and keep it on the track, or if he's going to push to try and get the gap again to Bev, push to try and catch up Tennant in front. And it all could go wrong again. You know what I mean? He's got to keep sensible. He's got to be sensible with it.
Yes, just off camera. So Matt Cox has got past Morgan Driscoll for 20 pip. And then he's had an absolutely brilliant run. He's also got past Lee Green and Chris Edisford. And looks like Chris Edisford's had a little bit of an incident. We can see if we're trying to pick together what happened in that little incident. Here we go. It's Chris Edisford down into Brundle. And just Carl getting a little bit unsteady, but no, he's come back. Oh, that's a nice chunk of net code there. Oh, and that's allowed. He's lost, I think, about 4 or 5 places. As I think that's Gary Bacon going ahead of him in that Biamoretti Ferrari. Matthew Strevers down in 31st place, carrying a fair whack of damage to the front end of that Mercedes. And let's take a little look. It's Charlie Bebb here.
The back of the front, isn't he?
He's done exactly the same as what Paul's done there. Look at that. But unlike Paul, he's managed to keep it together. Obviously being helped with a more even weight distribution of the BMW, obviously with this engine in the front as opposed to the engine in the boots that is the Porsche 911, and that's fine. That's preventing him from spinning out like what Busby experienced.
He's coming around, didn't he? He held his head and didn't sort of throttle it and hope to go off the other side. He did well there, Charlie. Just unfortunately put him at the back of the 3 that he was at the front of.
Yeah, oh, that's Gary Bacon running incredibly slow there. Looks like something's happened to him. Not too sure what's happened there. Let's take a little look at the action. Also, he's setting it up the inside. Oh, that was a very late lunge there, and real struggle. So here we go. Chris Hitchin, his brother Jonathan is way out in first. Now he's got Matt Cox, who's managed to get past him. I did spot Matt was closing the gap onto him. And Matt is picking his way through the field now. He's up to 23rd. Obviously, Busby in 4th, so he's got 19 places still to climb if he wants to try and get back up to the Busby. As late great Murray Walker said, catching people is one thing, but passing them is another.
Yeah, the famous lines of Murray Walker that you just constantly remember, don't you?
Ah, yes.
One of his famous ones. I think it was Damon Lick one, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, that was one of the most iconic moments of Murray Walker. As Pironi heads to the pits in his Lamborghini Huracan. And oh, he's also got, let's have a little look, who's also joined him in the pit lane. That's Lee Green as well. A little bit of activity going on in the pits currently. And oh, there's a fair few drivers starting to pop in. With 17 laps to go, we're just under half race distance, 11 laps currently completed. So these drivers may be looking to just take the pit early and get themselves into a bit of fresh air, do you reckon, James?
I can say I reckon they're going to undercut and hopefully try and get it. But it's like we discussed last time out, didn't we? Where is their fresh air? You know,
wow.
Where is there? You're going to sit at the back, you're going to get fresh air after 40 seconds, or you're going to try and slot in something. Isn't the air there with so many cars on the track, is there?
No, and this is the big trouble with, obviously, as Armstrong running incredibly slow, and it looks like he's had a bit of an incident in the background there. That's unfortunate for him. And yeah, James, it's so tricky, you know. Obviously, next time out will be at Imola, which will be interesting, then followed by Long Beach. Interlagos, there's maybe a little bit more room, and then the season rounding out at the circuit Gilles Villeneuve, of course, Montreal in Canada. And yeah, I think it's not like having Spa, where there's a big long track, or even definitely the Nordschleife, where you're going to have lots of fresh air. As you've got Norkit and Scianti looking incredibly racy behind him in that yellow front-ended Porsche 911, trying to look for his way away past, just showing his front end to Daryl Norkit, trying to distract him.
Yeah, I think out the races we've got Gilles Villeneuve is going to be definitely tough in the GT3.
Yeah, I think it's going to be the wall of champions. I think it's going to claim a few drivers, but I think what's going to be the tricky part is who collects them on the way through, because there's, as we've seen, there's not a lot of room to go there. We've seen it in real life racing. And I think there's obviously, you know, as you come around about, I think it's turn 3 underneath the trees where there's another wall there right on the exit of the corner, and it's such a tight, tough track that. And but just talking of tight and tough, Charlie Bebbs managed to close up the bit of the gap there to Darren Wiley.
That one to the back end of Wiley after his off track earlier. Charlie might have a bit between his teeth, I've got to be honest. He seems to be very racy in his BMW. I don't know. It's very close, isn't it?
Oh, looks like Cy Anthony's going for a move here, James. That's he's just backed out of it. Maybe looking to try and get a bit of a better run there, but that didn't seem to happen. Just maybe, you know, just struggling a little bit on braking there, just coming into Brundle.
Yeah, he didn't look comfortable, did it, at all? Let's be real. He didn't sort of too comfortable. Yeah, I think he's going to have to go again. I think he's going to have to definitely crack at it.
So, just to update you, so Cy Anthony has managed to get past Daryl Norkett, but also Matt Cox up another place past Sam Hooper for 22nd place. Well, that's why, because Daryl Norkett's come into the pits, so that's how that's released Cy Anthony, and he's got Ben Cullen's BMW. Well, that's a little bit of a mouthful there, that black and green BMW, and Ben's not exactly any sloucher, but I know Ben makes a bit of a habit of not qualifying during official races and just runs to the back, but he always finishes incredibly strong, and he looks to be trying to do the same tonight, but he's actually put a qualifying lap in.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting with Ben as well. We're obviously looking at Josh Pratt coming through as well. He's way down the field at the moment, isn't he? Where is he? Ooh, help me out, Tim. Do you know where Josh is?
29th. Yeah, 28th.
So, he's definitely got a tough act. I think it's interesting to see.
Oh, that's incredibly close. He's got Damien G behind him in that white Ferrari, and those two are right on the tail of him there, James. As they just let's have a little look where they're on track. Yeah, that's Agostini. They're about to come round, and then it's not really a chance for overtaking. Although Damien not exactly moving back into the slipstream, really trying to distract Pratt here and trying, you know, force him into making a mistake.
Yeah, Pratt looks comfortable though, dude, doesn't he? He's opened up a little bit of a gap. Not don't get me wrong, he's not opened up 3 or 4 seconds, but he's opened up. He's got away from. So I know.
Yeah, I mean, talking of battles, oh, that's incredibly close here too between Wiley and Ben. Ben, he's going to try and go for the move. He's going to try and get the switch back by the looks of things. It's maybe not the best quarter to try and do that with that one there, Charlie. And Wiley just making that push, you know, ridiculously wide on the exit there of Montreal. And I think Ben, but all while this has happened, look at Darracott. He's got a bit of fresh air between them. 3 seconds currently clear now of Wiley, and now sitting comfortable rather than battling with these two guys.
He opened up his gap, didn't he? I think these two guys are battling and helping each other up. And Darracott's just managed to slip away quietly without anyone really noticing that he's off, to be honest.
Big puff of smoke. Oh, that's someone off this. That's Busby off track. That's Busby. I'm sure I just saw the flash of the rear end of Busby's 911. Oh, Paul Busby. Oh, he's got it on the grass again. And he's just thinks he's play Tokyo drift there and trying to drift it right around the corner. It's not going to cost him too dearly. But Charlie Bebb just sliding the car around him there. That did well to avoid the recovering Busby there. But that's going to cost him dear. Now let's take a little look. Matt Cox up to 18th place. He's got Murray Luca ahead of him, and looks like he's going to go to the inside, going defensive as they come down Bentley Straight and into Brundle, but it looks like Cox is clear. So, well, we thought this battle was over and done with. Now the gap is only 10 places. Busby's headed to the pits now. He's headed to the pits, James. So let's have a look. Does Cox respond?
Cox is either going to go past him. Busby's, I don't know, Busby's looking like he's going to be there with his, he's had 2 spins now. I think,
yes.
Yeah, I think the pressure's definitely on him. I think I think he's either got to go to the pits, just calm down, come out and do his thing.
I think
he's got a good chance.
We saw it at the end of season 1 at Spa-Francorchamps. There we go. There's Cox going past the pit lane and ahead of Busby. Obviously, just on track at the moment. Obviously, Busby after the round of pit stops should still be ahead. But yeah, we saw it at round 6, the final round at season 1 at Spa-Francorchamps, where Busby was struggling with tyres from about the 3rd lap and held off James Armstrong right into the last lap, where literally 2 corners from the end lost it and was just so unlucky and allowed James Armstrong pass, who had dropped off to a 7-second gap. But Cox definitely a man on the move here, and Busby, he's held up behind James Armstrong currently, down in 20th and 21st place. It's around about 3 tenths between those 2 guys. Let's have a little look. Who else we got who's battling away? There's a nice little battle developing between Bickley, Anthony and Mark Johnson over 11th place currently on track. These guys are nice and close by.
Yeah, David Lawson's up there as well, but we've got Busby's got 10 seconds at the moment up until Cox. He's got these 10 seconds behind that.
Here he comes. That's going to be the move done on Armstrong. Armstrong just running a little bit wide there in that Mercedes. Mercedes doesn't seem to be a track suited to them this weekend. However, the Porsche just definitely seems to be the car of choice. Seems to have the power and the performance, thanks to, of course, the magic that is balance of performance, BOP, that is utilised within GT3s. Now, if you're not sure what that is, basically to allow all these different, completely unique cars to compete on an even playing field, tweaks are made to each of the cars. So whether that be fuel flow, it might be air amount, it might be turbo pressure, and allows them to all be completely to compete on a complete and utter level playing field and make the racing as fair and as even as possible. Now we've got
we've had Coxey in the pits. Busby's gone back past again. So Matt Cox was in the pits. Probably still is at the moment.
Yeah, he's still in the pits at the moment. He's just coming in, so he's going to be taking his pit. Let's have a look. Pit lane time for Busby was 37 seconds. Well, it'll be interesting to see what Cox manages. Currently first down to 15th place on track at the moment. Haven't taken a pit stop yet. As we currently look at, we've got Hooper here, and he's got Darracott right behind him, who's the first driver who has taken their pit stop. And yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to see how he carves his way through the field. But we've got Bickley about 8 tenths currently behind Austin William Campbell's BMW as they head round Brundle and then Nelson, James.
Yeah, we got. Hasn't really moved much. I don't see. He's been catching up Chatterton, hasn't he? Very slowly.
Yeah, very slowly.
You know, but it's not really made. You know,
here we go.
Bickley's got in as well.
Well, we've got it's Hitchin and Wiley are in from the front of the pack. That's going to release, obviously, Charlie Bebby's going to get a bit of fresh air to get the foot down in his BMW. Alberto Gravilli takes the lead of the race for now with Tennant in second place and Beb elevated to third. And look at Matt Gosling there in his Mercedes getting that up to 4th place provisionally. And I think it's going to be key. We've got a few other drivers, Abbott, Johnson, Lauson's also in the pits, Hooper and Morgan Driscoll as well. So it's with 11 laps to go, so we're just over half race distance. I think this could go any way. Now,
there was a Tim come out. Who did Tim Darracott come out right next to? Come out Darren Wiley, didn't he?
Yeah, Darren Wiley. Yeah, that Wiley's had a brilliant in lap, and he's managed to get it ahead of Darracott. Darracott was right about 3 seconds clear. So Wiley's had the in lap of his absolute life and managed to get the jump on Darracott. That's I'm really surprised by that one, James.
They were coming out. It was very close. It depended on how brave Wiley wanted to be on the way out, to be fair, because they come out literally side by side as Wiley was coming out of the pits. Darracott was coming down the straight. Wiley's just obviously just kept it out, had his elbows out, kept Darracott behind him. So Darracott's got what to do now, because he's pit, he's jumped him. He said, "You not sit back and think." Be interesting.
It will be. So there are 10. So just having a little look to resume the Matt Cox and Paul Busby battle. There's 10 places separating these two, currently 13th and 23rd on track at the moment, as our top three are all heading to the pits. Gravili, Tennant and Bebb. And I imagine probably most of the other drive. There we go, Gosling as well. He's headed in his Mercedes. And they're all sort of peeling off now. Yeah, there we go, Chatterton, William, Bickley. An absolute hive of activity coming into the pits. That's Cy Anthony in the background there in his Porsche as well. And there's Hitchin, and that's going to take him through. He's got past Gravili. There he is.
Hitchin got in the lead, didn't he?
He has, yeah. He's had a brilliant outlap, John Hitchin. He went early, went a lap earlier than what Gravili did, and he's managed to maybe get a little bit lucky with the traffic as well. And he's now got clear of Alberto Gravili, and Gravili will be absolutely spitting feathers. I know Gravili made the the undercut, sorry, worked for him really well last season at Watkins Glen, and maybe should have opted for that tactic as well this time, but there we go. Jonathan Hitchin is your new race leader, up to first place.
Gravili in second, Tennant third, Wiley fourth, Darracott fifth, sixth, Armstrong seventh, Bebb in eighth, Cheryl ninth, and Cullen rounding out your top.
Sorry to cut across your games. Here goes Busby. He's going to try and go round the outside of Darracott's Mercedes. That's going to force him wide a little bit there. But this is the last thing Paul Busby wants. He's held up. Darracott and Wiley are no slouches themselves. And look, he's just lurking in his black Mercedes in the background. Well, there's two cars. There's James Armstrong's black Mercedes, and then there's Charlie Bebb. You can see his blue and yellow and black BMW just in the background there. An absolute train now that Darren Wiley's at the front of in fourth place. I think this could go actually any way possible.
Yeah, 10 to go. I think you could see if Busby's going to push. Is he going to hold his head? Is he going to put it on the grass again? Yeah, I mean, that'd be interesting to see. Hopefully he can hold his head all the way through. But I think, yeah, you got Wiley's got a big mission to keep staying in front of these guys. I'm not going to lie. He's got some fast people behind him.
Just a little look at Peroni here, come around in his Lamborghini. Brilliant outing from him, one of the rookie drivers currently, in 26th place overall. Real great drive from him, and I think he's one of the newer drivers to the category, and he's been putting in some really stunning performances so far. Really solid performances, James.
Yeah, I think he has. To be fair, to come into it as a new driver, you know what I mean, and to be able to do it.
Let's have a look.
I've got Charlie going down on my timing screen. Am I missing something there?
Yeah, I think that's just your timing sheets, mate. We've got Ben Cullen just entering the pits. He's the last driver to enter them. He's now heading out east. That's going to bring him out just, I think, probably just in front of Murray Luca. Possibly, yeah, Murray Luca's Mercedes. So that's going to put that Cullen, obviously, after the pit stops now down to 21st, which was at 5 places from where he started, but roundabout. I'm not sure. He seems to have dropped down a little bit further. Could be the timing sheet. Then Ant Franklin may switch from McLaren to Mercedes M2M. He's just the last of, I think he's the last of our pit stop takers now. No, sorry, Garrett Trini's showing up as still not coming, and also Carl Sharkey in his Porsche.
We've got Matt Cox pushing up on Mark Johnson. That gap's down below a second now as well, so Matt's definitely got a bit between his teeth.
I think the interesting battle, there's Cullen. He's got Hooper right in front of him, and then also Morgan Driscoll's Ferrari. So it's Ferrari, BMW, and Ben Cullen. He's absolutely all over the back of him there, and but yeah, back up to the more on the top of the grid, the standings order. And these guys just seem to be all following each other around in a train as Wiley runs a little bit wide onto the grass there. This is going to Darracott the chance. This is Darracott's chance now. Wiley's going to get a slow exit, and Darracott's going up the inside. He's using all the grunt of that V8 of that Mercedes. I think that's moved on. But he just tapped in there, and this has allowed Busby through. And look, here comes James Armstrong in his Mercedes. And Wiley's going to lost out on 2 places. No, there's contact. We got contact. That's James Armstrong ran it a little too deep in, and that's tapped the rear end and pulled Busby down. Here comes Matt Cox. He's 2 corners behind Busby, and Busby's down to 8th place now. Cox is in 18th, so there's about 10 positions between the pair of them. Time on track between them about 20 seconds. So, yeah, not too... it's getting closer.
James.
I think it's getting closer and closer. And here we go. So we've got Austin Campbell. He's got Snetterton and Norkit right behind him. In the Porsche, and he's Snetterton's Porsche is stuck between two BMWs here, and we've seen a lot of Porsches and a lot of BMWs seem to be covering tonight, James.
Yeah, they're putting on a good show compared to the Porsches we had last time. The complete and utter. But I think, you know, William Campbell and his BMW, and Norkit as well, his BM, Bickley and his Mercedes, Gosling as well with Ferrari and Mercedes respectively. So there's a good mixture, and we've still got Jonathan Hitchin out in front and in his Ferrari with his amazing outlap jumping Gravelli.
Yeah, it's amazing really, because we saw the laps in qualifying that Gravelli was putting in. He was just getting faster and faster and faster. They're coming up to a little bit of lap traffic now that's moving out the way. That's car 777, which is Tom Noble, one of the rookie drivers, and you see possibly down in the back distance now, there's James Armstrong's black Mercedes. He's up to 5th place, and Darrell Cott's just managed to, in his white Mercedes, just managed to get a little bit ahead of these guys. We've got a move just happening there. That's Wiley sending up the inside of Bev, and he's got the move done there.
Yeah, he sent it up the inside of Bev and completely said that was mine. He got his elbows out and he completely had it done then. Well done, Wiley.
Got a bit of a 5-car train here, so we've got Shane Abbott's Ferrari at the front of it there, that blue and red Ferrari, with Stuart Bickley behind him for company, but lurking not too far behind is Campbell, Snetterton and Norkit.
Anthony on back as well.
Yeah, you see him just up in the background there. Here he comes. He's going to be relishing the chance where these guys are going to be tucked up behind one another, just have a little bit of battles, and it's going to allow him to chase at the back of him. But here we go, Shane Abbott under attack now from Stuart Bickley. Bickley just trying to get the run on him, and so they're now just heading through Williams and out onto the Bentley straight, and it's V8 versus V8, and Bickley looking like he's got the better exit there, and Abbott's he's going to have the inside line as they come up to Brundle, but can Bickley get the move done beforehand? He's going to have to run it round the outside. He's going to go deep onto the brakes, and yeah, that's the move done. But we've got a car off in the background. I think that's Norkit off in the background there.
No, Norkit just went straight.
Completely lost his braking marker. Let's take a little look what happened. He's just trying to get up the inside. No, he's caught the grass there, hasn't he, James? I think.
Front left hit the grass, spun him round on the braking, and it was. Pirouettes in the grass.
There we go. Look, Bickley now under attack from Abbott, and Chris Snetterton in his Porsche behind him, be rubbing his hands with glee. These two just hoping something happens. They came incredibly close last time around to touching, and he'll be hoping that they'll be touching each other again. No, that's probably not the best choice of words, I know, but nothing in that sort of way. But you know, we are a clean, family-friendly show. But you can see Cy Anthony just lurking in the background there, and William Campbell just flashing his lights there, trying to distract this whole train and trying to sneak away through. There's only 6 laps to go now. Drive's completed 22 laps so far. And we've got so many battles up and down the field. Yeah, let's have a little check-in.
What's happened?
Yeah, let's have a little bit of a check-in with David Lawson. He's qualified 24th. He is currently 24th. He was running a bit higher up earlier on. He's currently locked in a little bit of a battle with Sam Hooper's BMW, that blue BMW that's just ahead of him. And getting incredibly close into braking there in that Ghostbusters livery Ferrari. As they, just have a look where they're coming round now. There you go, Hamilton. So just round to Oggies now. And then Laos is going to be looked to just get the good exit, and just especially coming out of Williams now, and utilise that straight line speed that the Ferrari has along the Bentley straight.
Yeah.
But look, Abbott's under trouble. He's under trouble there. He's going to run incredibly close to Chris Snetterton. Looks like he's going to get the move done, but look, he's just behind him. It's Campbell's BMW. as they head down the start-finish straight now, James. Which way do you think this one's going to go?
Tannen's got the outside. I can't see him.
Oh, they're trying to go 3 into 1 there, and luckily they somehow get through that. Not sure how they quite all managed that, but look, Cy Anthony's right up on the back of this train now, James.
I think he's sitting there rubbing his hands. He's got to be waiting for contact. He's got to. I don't think he'll get himself completely involved. I think he'll only pick off places when they make mistakes.
I think so. Definitely, Cy Anthony incredibly quick. We saw all last season over 1 lap in his Ferrari. Just maybe struggles a little bit in traffic. It's not his strongest tool in his armour, but yeah, I think, like you said, I think he's just going to be sat back and waiting for these guys. But there we go. I eat my words, James. I eat my words completely. Yeah, did him into Angostini there.
Yeah, he picked him off. Once he dropped away from the other 2 in front of him. He didn't pick him off when he was right up him. As soon as that all come together and he backed out a bit, William Campbell dropped back a bit. Anthony had him.
Cy Anthony, like a lion there, just picking off the weakest member of the group there and elevating himself up into 14th position. Just keeping a little bit of an eye at the sharp end of the standings for you. Hitchin still our leader. He's got Gravilli just over a second behind him, then Tennant in 3rd place. Darracott in a very comfortable 14th place, but also, sorry, 4th place, but well clear. Followed by Armstrong, Wiley, Baird, Busby, Cheryl and Gosling. Just keep an eye on Matt Cox. He's up to 16th place. There's still quite a chunky gap between him and Busby. Wow, I think this, with 4 laps to go, anything could happen here potentially, James, couldn't it? And we could see these 2 right together onto the final lap.
I think Matt's got a lot of work to do. I'm not going to.
He's got to dig deep.
Oh, deep, because he's got to be going 8 foot. He's got to at least just put it in, dude. Unless Busby makes mistakes.
Oh,
Matt spinning, going, sliding around.
Yeah, drifting round turn 1 at his riches, and just take a little look. We've got Damien G and Joshua, Neil Smith here. Really close battle. There's about half a second between these 2 guys. Neil making the switch across from last season. He was BMW across to Mercedes there, switching from one side of Germany to the other, but just dropping a little bit behind Damien G's Ferrari there.
Yeah, Damien G, but is Larson all right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, we've got a spinner in the background there. It was a Lamborghini. I didn't quite catch who that was. It was a green Lamborghini. But here comes Lawson. He's going to go round the outside, James. David Lawson puts it round the outside. I think that's round the outside of Palmer there. Great move by him. Oh, they've got the Lamborghini of Peroni. He's under attack, and Hooper could lose 2 places in within 2 corners. And he's done it. Brilliant move by Peroni, capitalising on the slow Hooper there. And Lawson, look, he's managed to pull out a bit of a gap there as well in the meantime.
He managed to get past him, and then obviously poor old Hooper must be sitting there thinking, I've just lost 2 spaces. But Lawson did amazing, and Peroni getting through as well. Absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible.
Great move by
Hitchin getting cleared. Chased that by Gravilli at the front. Am I missing something? Gravilli's close right?
But the gaps remain a little bit static. But the one to look at is the gap between Tennant in his Porsche and Gravilli, who is closing the gap. That gap down to about 6/10 of a second. So Tom Tennant, the man on the move, just living a little look. Of these 3, he was the fastest driver between the 3 of them. And Armstrong and Darracott here, Mercedes on Mercedes. Darracott on the offensive there against Armstrong. Darracott having a brilliant outing this time, currently up to 5th place. Great drive from him, and that's just where he hasn't had the Neil Smith's come off track somewhere. Let's take a little look at this. He was touched, I think, there. Oh. That was Darracott.
What hit him? Did he hit him, or was Neil Smith probably going back? Darracott finished up behind him.
Oh,
a different angle.
I'm not too sure there. We'll see if we can come back to that one and take a little look. But the gap between Armstrong, here we go. We can see if we can. Oh, trying to get another angle for you. There we go.
Let's go back of Smith's.
Yeah, just caught onto the back of him.
Just and pushed him. Darracott.
Wow. A feisty Tim Darracott we're seeing this season, and just maybe get a little, I think he might get written up, and that one will be reviewed by the stewards after the race there. And Darracott's taken damage. He's into the pits. He's into the pits. That's clearly cost him dearly there. Oh, Tim Darracott, who was having a brilliant drive, up in 5th place. Battling with James Armstrong, but no, he's come back out of the pits. He's down to 10th place. Such a shame for Darracott, but that's going to lock him into this Bickley and Snetterton battle now.
It's coming out between Snetterton and Campbell, boys, with Matt Cox at the back. So them as well in 15th.
Yeah, right, yeah, there's Matt Cox. He's down in 15th. But yeah, you see a lot of drivers with 2 laps to go. A lot of drivers start to struggle for a bit of grip now. These guys, well, that's incredibly close there with Bickley and Snetterton, but Bickley's going to go on the inside. How close are those two? Wow, as they come round Agostini and now head down the short straight to the left-hander of Hamilton. Bickley's got the inside, but Snetterton's not going to give it up, and he's going to be on the inside now, down into Obvious. He's got it done, James. He's got it done.
Yeah, he just kept his foot in. He was just like, no, not having that. Put his foot down and just went straight through.
However, this is where it's coming out onto the Bentley straight. Merc V8 versus Porsche Flat 6. Let's see it. I think that Porsche is getting away. Chanson's getting away.
I don't. Chanson's opening up a gap, and every Bickley's got an answer for him.
No, he just doesn't seem to have an answer for him. He seems to be quicker through the corners than that Mercedes, which is odd because the Porsche normally so good in the corners. But yeah, he just onto the straights. He just seems to blow him away, really.
Yeah, he's done nothing for him as well. William Campbell going a bit on the grass on the outlet, which brought Matt Cox right up behind him as well.
Yeah, he's right up behind him, but also no, it's not Cy Anthony. Cy Anthony's a little behind. There's a back marker behind him. Here comes Matt Cox. He's on the attack. He's going to have the work to do if he's going to try and run it around the outside. Darracott's into the pits again, so clearly causing damage from that incident with Neil Smith. Here comes Matt Cox. I think he's going to try and brave around the outside. That's incredibly ambitious. You can't do that there, Matt Cox. Oh, no, he's going to swap to the inside as they come hard onto the brakes into Montreal. He's a bit too far back. Oh, they're so close around Montreal. That's, wow. Wow, Campbell not giving him an inch there. Oh, great lap.
Good effort, Matt. Nice.
So we are on to the final lap. There's only about a quarter of a lap left to go for Jonathan Hitchin, but this is far too interesting. Here comes Cox on the attack again. Oh, that's incredibly close. Stewart. Oh, I think that is officially. No, Hitchin's got a little bit of the lap to go. He's got 1 corner left to go. Here he comes round the last corner. That is Murray's, and he's ever since that great in lap, he's controlled it. Round 2, winner of Snetterton is Jonathan Hitchin. 2nd place Gravilli, 3rd place Tennant. Great drive from him, but let's see if we can cut back to that. Well, we've got a few battles. Let's have a look at Armstrong, Wiley and Bev. They're really close. They've got Paul Busby right behind them as well. It's all to play for now. Bev's gone defensive. I think Busby's not going to be able to get the drive. No, not coming out of Murray's there. Armstrong showing as being in the pits. What?
Yeah, he's in on the left there, look.
Oh, what? That's fuel. Oh, James Armstrong, that's cost him majorly dearly. That couldn't get over the line. Oh, James. We've seen it before in the Radical League that we showed in January, and he had real issues with fuel. And I think Bickley's ran out of fuel as well there, pulling the car to one side.
Bickley had it at the same, didn't he, right at the end?
And I think that's... I thought that was another battle going on there with Cox having another rotate, but they're obviously across the line. Here's Steve Masters, got Chris Eddersford ahead of him, and Mark Johnson just touched up right behind him. Mark Johnson in that Ferrari. But yeah, again, great battles from 3 different manufacturers. They round Corrin for the last time, head down to Murray's, but I don't think any of them quite look close enough here, James, do they?
Yeah,
having that Masters trying to run it in a little bit close, but he's not going to have an answer. But and I don't think Mark Johnson's going to be quite close enough to utilise the 60. Oh no! Has he got him at the line? His Master's got Hitchin at the line. Sorry, got Eddersford at the line. That was incredibly close.
That looks close.
We'll have to look at the classified, I think, results to that one, James, because that is showing on my screen as 0.03 of a second. He beat him at the line by. Edisford beat Masters at the line.
Or you got Edisford in front?
I've got Edisford in front by 3/100th of a second.
Yeah.
We'll
2:11 on mine.
I think another driver suffering from fuel there. As obviously Armstrong, and he's headed to the pits as well, and Ant Franklin as well. Other drivers just trying to pick up a bit of fuel. But yeah, it'd be great if we could get a little bit of a replay after the race results. James, do you want to run us through those ones, mate?
So we got Jonathan Hitchin with an amazing outlap after his pits, got ahead of Greeley. He won, Greeley in second, Tom Tennant third. Wiley fourth, managed to hold off Bev in the end. Busby for his recoveries after his couple of spins finished in sixth. Gerald seventh, Goslin eighth, Chatterton ninth, Abbott 10th. William 11th, Cox in 12th, Cy Anthony in 13th, Holloway 14th, Murray Luca 15th. And Tim, can you carry on? My game's just done something rather fun.
Okay, no worries. Yeah, so Murray Luca and his MG Mercedes GT3 comes up in 15th. Morgan Driscoll, seems great drives from him last season, 16th place in his Ferrari. Ben Cullen, I know Chris Rowlands will be disappointed. He was coming 17th there. I know him and Ben have a great rivalry. James Armstrong, after having to take the pits right at the end there, is demoted all the way down to 18th place. Shocking from him there. Daryl Norkitz there, 19th place in this BMW. Dave Lawson, some great battles we saw from him tonight in 20th. The last of the points finishers in his Ghostbusters livery Ferrari. Carl Sharkey picks up the first of the non-points finishing place. So he's a second behind Lawson in 21st. So incredibly close, right up to the line, as we saw from so many of our drivers. But I think fuel's definitely going to be the interesting part. But take a look at what that does to the championship standings. Jonathan Hitchin, lead up 7 places, 67 points in first place. Paul Busby moves up a place. He's in second place. Tom Tennant also, he's up 7 places, and likewise is Charlie Bebb in the Porsche and BMW respectively. Kiefer McKenna not joined us for this round. He's been demoted 4 places. Andres Padilla likewise. They're both down 4 places, 5th and 6th place. Alberto Greeley jumps a massive 28 places. That's that second place tonight. Puts him into 7th place for the championship. Chris Tridenson, great drive from him tonight in his Porsche. He's at 8th place. Labette is in 9th, and another Porsche driver's a massive Porsche showing within the top 10 there. Andrew Jones rounds up your top 10 in his Lamborghini Huracan. James Armstrong, obviously, after his incident tonight of short fuel in the car, is demoted all the way down to 11th. Obviously, would have been much higher up. Should he have finished in, I think it was 4th or 5th overall. Danny Gosling in his Mercedes is up 7 places as well. Jacob Hyde, Matt Cox up to 13th and 14th places. Mark Jennings 15th. Darrell Wiley 16th. Ollie Palmley in his Ferrari is 17th. Rob Windsor 18th. Cheryl 19th. Davis rounds out the top 20 in his Ferrari. And we've got Owen Blythe, he called you Ollie there, in his Porsche in 21st. Andrew Brammer in his Ferrari in 22nd. Burridge 23rd. Shane Abbott, great drive from him tonight. So some great battles, and likewise Peroni in 24th and 25th. Peter Cox is in 26th. Austin William in his BMW is 27th. Stuart Williams' Porsche is 28th and joined by Simon Bamber's Porsche in 29th. Dave Stringler's Ferrari in 30th. Cy Anthony, great drive from him tonight. Sees him in 31st. Bickley, Pearson and Holloway are the next drivers. Carl Sharkey's Porsche is in 35th. Chris Bates in 36th. Murray Luca down in 37th. Expect better things for you there, Murray. Murray, good friend of mine from a bit of time we spent together around Nürburgring for 24 hours earlier in the season. David Contos 38th, Morgan Driscoll 39th, Dan Taylor 40th, and Ben Cullen in 41st, and the bottom, I think that's the bottom for his BMW, unless we've got a few more drivers. Oh yeah, we have got a few more. So Ben Cullen's not bottom there. I know Chris Rowlands will be disappointed by that one. Dom Roberts, we saw great drives from him last season. Obviously not able to join us for this round. He's in 42nd. Tim Darracott, obviously those penalties costing him dearly. He's only down in 43rd. Darren Norkett, 44th. Bradley Holtz is 45th, taking his drop week this week. Dave Lowson, great drive from him tonight, 46th. Matthew Struthers is the first of our 0-point scorers, along with Bruce Mitchell, Law, and Joe Turner in 51st place in his Lamborghini Huracan. Wow, bit of a deep breath there.
You got that, Tim?
I think we've just about covered absolutely everyone. It's the great positives is having so many drivers within the league, but then when it comes to reading out the championship standings, it's a little bit of a mouthful, isn't it? Just
as we found out on the grid earlier on as well, where I was speed reading by the time I got all in one breath. Funny enough.
Well, we made it. It was perfect timing just for the race. I'm not sure if we can. Producer Sean can get hold of the footage of what happened to Edisford across the line there as he was running out of fuel, and just how close it was across the line. That'll be a great one that we can get hold of. I think he's just squirreling away in the background now. See if he can show that one to us on stream. So, well, waiting for Sean to cue that one up for us, James. What was your favourite moment from tonight?
It wasn't a favourite. I was very sympathetic to Busby, right? I've got to be honest, because he looked like he had it, he spun, then he come back, then he spun, and it was just like, come on, Paul, get your head together, son. You know what I mean? It was just a bit of a shame. It was just a bit of a shame that he didn't quite sort of get it all together. Do you know what I mean?
Well, exactly. I think Ian's rejoined us in the commentary box now. Ian, what did you make of that?
Good to speak to him. My heart's still beating, but that was a frenetic pace. I mean, there was a lot of cars on the track. But in contrast to the first race, where most of the action appeared to be in the first 5 positions, it was up and down the field. And in the short race, people were swapping places like car keys, and it filled all of my brain capacity to try and deal with it. But there was truly compelling action up and down the field. I think my favourite point was just purely because it was the most recent thing that happened, is that Chaddington-Bickley battle where just seemed to drive backwards as they hit the braking zone, and Chaddington just rode the wave of adrenaline and kept his foot in and effectively escorted Bickley around the corner as he dropped back. I mean, he just disappeared. Bickley just disappeared. It was astonishing to see, really. And Chaddington just carried on. That was a great bit of ballsy driving there.
It's replay on there. Can you see that, Tim? Look.
Oh, well, yes. Look at how. I think that's literally one of those white individual lines width, and that's all what was in it. Chris Edisford to clean hold of 23rd position over Masters. Masters, I don't think he could have done much more to make it any closer. Or, like I say, I think 300ths of a second. And that's just to give you a visual representation of what 300 of a second across the start-finish line looks like at Snetterton. How close is that?
Oh, look. It's like a front, not even part of a front bumper, is it? Look.
I think
almost a number plate.
Yeah. Chris Edisford will be breathing a huge sigh of relief having seen that one, and I think Steve Masters will be feeling maybe a little bit hard done by just a fraction of literally 3/100ths of a second quicker on the accelerator, and maybe he could have finished one position higher, but. Well, we've seen it so many times, and literally it goes down to the wire, the racing here on iRacing UK. And
we went to the wire, Tim, didn't it? Look, it couldn't have got any closer.
I think it could have done. It could have gone to maybe thousandths of a second rather than hundredths. But wow, it's literally nothing in it whatsoever. Wow, I think deep breath, and I think.
I'm sweating it, Tim. I'm not going to lie. I think I've lost, stones.
You're not alone on that one. I'm definitely feeling the warmth, especially having to have the windows closed so I don't upset the Novas from shouting at all the great action that we've got on stream. And wow,
isn't that crazy though, James? The fact that just commentating and watching iRacing can make you feel the same as actually racing it. Because like sometimes when you're racing, the room can't get cold enough because you're just pouring sweat.
Yeah, this has been the same thing, especially when there's action constantly. Right, try to keep up with the action because there was so much stuff going on again in that race like yours was, Ian. It was just insane. And I do literally feel like I've done about 45 minutes at the gym, I'm not going to lie. So, there we go.
Just having a quick scan through the comments, Silent Racer. Thank you for the follow. Likewise with Matter32. Let's have a quick little scan up, see if we've got any other guys to thank. There's plenty of chat been going on in the comments there. Unfortunately, not able to interact with you as much as we like to normally due to so much going on. Airchar, thank you for the subscription. I think I covered you earlier. So, yeah, if you'd like to give us a follow on Twitch, that helps to obviously stay up to date with all the latest broadcasts. So make sure to turn on that bell notification. Likewise, if you're watching across on YouTube, give us a subscribe to be able to do the same thing. Give the video and stream a like. On Twitch, if you want to give us a subscription, we'd be incredibly welcoming of that. Obviously, this community and all the leagues and practice sessions are put on completely free of charge, so the subscriptions help to fund that through all the volunteers that put on all this great action. Of course, you can head, if you really want to join any of our Discord or any of our leagues, then feel free to head across to facebook.com/iRacingUK, where you can drop us a message on there and we can send you a link to the Discord. We cover absolutely everything. It's not just GT3s, as you can see from previous streams. We've got there's a Radical League that's on tomorrow night. That's not actually being live broadcasted, but that has some absolutely great action I know happening in that. F3s have returned last night, funnily enough, for live action. And of course, we've got Porsche Cup coming up on Sunday night. We've seen that's an absolutely brilliant event put on by Matt Cox, who's had one or two mentions tonight, and also being £50 cheaper. That obviously going to lighter. That £50 going towards Mind and helping to kick off the fundraising that we'll be putting together for Sparta 24 Hours, where we'll be streaming and raising funds. As we did at the Daytona 24 and raised quite a bit of cash then as well. It was brilliant how the community came together.
I think it's sorry, Tim.
That's right.
I think it's. I was talking to a friend about this the other day. The one good thing about this last 18 months of total nonsense of COVID and that is that it really has opened up the whole kind of discussion around mental health, and people are a lot more open in general about that. Definitely. And the kind of thing that iRacing UK are doing to try and support Mind is exactly good, and it's really heartening.
It is, and everyone within the community is so open and welcoming and willing to help and share life experiences. And remember, it's always good to open up and talk to someone, because there's quite often there's someone who's, as we've seen from in the community, there's other members who going through or have been through very similar things, and able to exchange information, and everyone's always there to support each other. It's a real massive family and community spirit within the Discord, and it's been I know from myself, having being living by myself, it's been a great outlet where obviously we haven't been able to get out really much for the last 18 months or more, and yeah, it's been a great relief, and we've shared, we laugh together, we get angry together as we get taken out, and we share all the highs and the lows together. So it's as you say, Ian, it's a great community to be part of. So yeah, we will be back in about a week and a half's time. So a week on Sunday, where we will be heading to the Autodrome International Enzo Dino Ferrari, or more commonly known as Imola to most people.
It's too long if we go the other way.
So we'll be off heading to Imola. The fast circuit is Imola, where we saw some absolutely great action. I think it was season before last, where we saw an absolute brilliant battle between Alberto Gravilli and James Armstrong for first. Obviously, Alberto desperate to win that race because being half Italian, it's effectively, he calls it his home race. I know he'll be very keen to come first on that one. And based on tonight's showing, I think he'll definitely be after a bit of redemption after being beaten by Jonathan Hitchens' Ferrari. So, yeah, I think that's a few thank you to the guys over at trackcams22.com. I haven't mentioned them tonight. They provide us with all our camera angles, and thanks to producer Sean in the background. As usual, his hard effort squirreling away to bring us all this great footage for us to shout over, as we always do, myself, Ian and James, and you to enjoy at home. And yeah, this is Lisa. Say thank you and good night.
Right.